Homes iliyoko sehemu ya Mbaruk, mita chache kutoka barabara kuu ya Nakuru kuelekea Nairobi, ina huduma za maji safi kwa matumizi ya kinyumbani, umeme, kanisa, hospitali na usalama wa kutosha. Kwa maelezo zaidi, mpigie simu Father Geoffrey Thuo sasa kabla hazijaisha. Mpigie simu kupitia nambari 0725860246 au 0707156813, 0725860246 au 0707156813. Jenga Vatican Home yako leo katika Vatican Homes. Vatican Homes, mradi wa Jimbo Katoliki la Nakuru. Je, unahisi umefeli maishani kutokana na gredi za chini au kwa kutokwenda shuleni? Je, umeshawahi ambiwa hujafuzu licha ya kuwa unajua una talanta? Naam, ni wakati wako wa mwanzo mpya. Karibu Gates Africa Education Group, ambapo hatutambui tu talanta, maisha au kazi yako, bali tunasisitiza hayo ndio misingi wa mafanikio. Gates Africa Group tunafanya mambo tofauti. Tuna mafunzo kulingana na talanta, yani talent based learning, ambapo elimu yako inakolea kwa talanta uliopewa na Mwenyezi Mungu, huku tukiangazia elimu ya kawaida. Na kwa wale walio na umri wa miaka 25 na kuendelea, tuna mafunzo maalum ambayo inawiana na tajriba yako, iwe umeajiriwa kazi au wewe ni mfanyabiashara, ambayo itachangia wewe kupata diploma au degree. Kwa watoto na vijana tunatumia teknolojia ya kisasa kutathmini talanta itakayowiana na taaluma. Kwa watu wazima, teknolojia yetu inayojulikana kama Revolutionary Matrix, ambayo inakuwezesha kufuzu haraka. Haijalishi ndoto yako ni ipi, tuna uwezo wa kukusaidia kuitimiza. Jiunge nasi kwa kozi za Business Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Computing and Cutting Edge Technology, Hospitality and Tourism, Beauty and Human Therapy, Medical and Applied Sciences, Journalism and Mass Communication, Law and Legal Sciences, Sports, Music, Agriculture, Marine Science na zinginezo. Habari njema kwa walio na diploma au certificate, watafuzu kufanya degree kupitia vyuo vikuu ambavyo ni washirika wetu. Tunapatikana Nakuru Christ the King Cathedral. Tawi letu kuu liko Kisumu, ambalo lina boarding facilities. Tuna matawi mengine Mombasa, Eldoret na Meru. Tuna leseni kutoka kwa serikali. Njoo utalii vifaa vyetu vya kisasa, vikiwemo mtambo wa anthropobiometric, ambayo inasaidia kubaini talanta na taaluma miaka 20 hadi 30 katika siku zijazo. Njoo ujionee mwenyewe. Kwa mengi zaidi, wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari 0758752771 au 0742540049 au 0737674883. Tembelea wavuti wetu www.gatesafrica.org. Tazama masimulizi ya waliofanikiwa kupitia YouTube The Talent Television. Gates Africa Education Group, where talents meets opportunity and your future begins now. Nakuru, mko tayari? Abagusi, mko tayari? Hii ni kubwa, hii ni bora. Nakuru Season 1 Gusii Cultural Experience itakayofanyika tarehe 10 mwezi wa Oktoba katika Rift Valley Motor and Sports Club, Solai Road, Nakuru, kilomita 13 kutoka jiji la Nakuru. Njoo tufurahie pamoja masuala ya tamaduni, waimbaji mbalimbali tajika,
naumeire gesike kyomotioke naumeire gesike kyomotioke naumeire gesike kyomotioke naumeire gesike kyomotioke ekinegetinge kemwago morondo oyaye ekinegetinge
mwa bumurondo oyaye ekinege.
Yote hayo ni ndani ya Gusii Cultural Experience. Kutakuwa na secure parking, vyakula vya kutosha na vinywaji kwa wingi. Nyote mnakaribishwa. Ili kujinunulia tikiti yako, ingia katika ukurasa wa Facebook Minto Gusii Festival, ukurasa wa Facebook ya radio yetu au TikTok Minto Gusii Festivals, na ubonyeze kiungo ama link au bonyeza *826*145#. Kiingilio ni shilingi 1500 kwa mtu mmoja na shilingi 7,000 kwa kikundi cha watu 5. Wakati wako ni sasa wa kuwa na nyumba yako ya ndoto. Ardhi ya Vatican Homes sasa ni ardhi yako. Chini ya usimamizi wa Jimbo Katoliki la Nakuru, ardhi ya Vatican Homes iko tayari kwa kujenga katika mandhari tulivu na mazingira ya kupendeza. Vatican Homes iliyoko sehemu ya Mbaruk, mita chache kutoka barabara kuu ya Nakuru kuelekea Nairobi, ina huduma za maji safi kwa matumizi ya kinyumbani, umeme, kanisa, hospitali na usalama wa kutosha. Kwa maelezo zaidi, mpigie simu Father Geoffrey Thuo sasa kabla hazijaisha. Mpigie simu kupitia nambari 0725860246 au 0707156813, 0725860246 au 0707156813. Jenga Vatican Home yako leo katika Vatican Homes. Vatican Homes, mradi wa Jimbo Katoliki la Nakuru. Ewe msikilizaji wa radio yetu, sisi tunakujali na kukuenzi kila wakati. Asanti kwa kuichagua radio yetu kuwa kituo bora hapa kwenye kaunti ya Nakuru. Iwapo una maoni, malalamishi au maombi kuhusiana na vipindi vyetu au taarifa zetu, usikose kuwasiliana nasi muda wowote kila siku. Zipo njia mwafaka zilizowekwa na kuhakikiwa na serikali ili kuwasilisha maoni, malalamishi au maombi kuhusiana na matangazo yetu, vipindi vyetu au taarifa zetu. Unaweza kutuandikia barua pepe au email kupitia radioyetu.ke@gmail.com au tutumie SMS kwa nambari 0707306155. Radio Yetu, wewe na mimi daima. Je, una biashara, taasisi, hospitali, kampuni au huduma ungependa ijulikane zaidi? Karibu Radio Yetu. Tunakupa fursa ya kutangaza biashara au huduma yako kwa bei nafuu. Wasiliana na msimamizi wa mauzo Kezia kupitia nambari 0795163455 au Bwana Ujimbi 0795163455 au tutembelee katika studio zetu zilizoko Lighthouse Building opposite Nyayo Gardens, Kenyatta Avenue, orofa ya kwanza. Tupe nafasi ya kukuza biashara yako kupitia matangazo. Radio Yetu, wewe na mimi daima. Je, unahisi umefeli maishani kutokana na gredi za chini au kwa kutokwenda shuleni? Je, umeshawahi ambiwa hujafuzu licha ya kuwa unajua una talanta? Naam, ni wakati wako wa mwanzo mpya. Karibu Gates Africa Education Group, ambapo hatutambui tu talanta, maisha au kazi yako, bali tunasisitiza hayo ndio misingi wa mafanikio. Gates Africa Group tunafanya mambo tofauti. Tuna mafunzo kulingana na talanta, yani talent based learning, ambapo elimu yako inakolea kwa talanta uliopewa na Mwenyezi Mungu, huku tukiangazia elimu ya kawaida. Na kwa wale walio na umri wa miaka 25 na kuendelea, tuna mafunzo maalum ambayo inawiana na tajriba yako, iwe umeajiriwa kazi au wewe ni mfanyabiashara, ambayo itachangia wewe kupata diploma au degree. Kwa watoto na vijana tunatumia teknolojia ya kisasa kutathmini talanta itakayowiana na taaluma. Kwa watu wazima, teknolojia yetu inayojulikana kama revolutionary matrix, ambayo inakuwezesha kufuzu haraka. Haijalishi ndoto yako ni ipi, tuna uwezo wa kukusaidia kuitimiza. Jiunge nasi kwa kozi za Business Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Computing and Cutting Edge Technology, Hospitality and Tourism, Beauty and Human Therapy, Medical and Applied Sciences, Journalism and Mass Communication, Law and Legal Sciences, Sports, Music, Agriculture, Marine Science na zinginezo. Habari njema kwa walio na diploma au certificate, watafuzu kufanya degree kupitia vyuo vikuu ambavyo ni washirika wetu. Tunapatikana Nakuru Christ the King Cathedral. Tawi letu kuu liko Kisumu ambalo lina boarding facilities. Tuna matawi mengine Mombasa, Eldoret na Meru. Tuna leseni kutoka kwa serikali. Njoo utalii vifaa vyetu vya kisasa, vikiwemo mtambo wa anthropobiometric ambayo inasaidia kubaini talanta na taaluma miaka 20 hadi 30 katika siku zijazo. Njoo ujionee mwenyewe. Kwa mengi zaidi, wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari 0758752771 au 0742540049 au 0737674883. Tembelea wavuti wetu www.gatesafrica.org. Tazama masimulizi ya waliofanikiwa kupitia YouTube The Talent Television. Gates Africa Education Group, where talents meets opportunity and your future begins now. Nakuru, mko tayari? Abagusi, mko tayari? Hii ni kubwa, hii ni bora. Nakuru Season 1 Gusii Cultural Experience itakayofanyika tarehe 10 mwezi wa Oktoba katika Rift Valley Motor and Sports Club, Solai Road, Nakuru, kilomita 13 kutoka jiji la Nakuru. Njoo tufurahie pamoja masuala ya tamaduni, waimbaji mbalimbali tajika,
naumeire gesike kyomotioke naumeire gesike kyomotioke naumeire gesike kyomotioke naumeire gesike kyomotioke
ekinegetinge kemwago morondo oyaye ekinegetinge kemwago morondo oyaye ekinegetinge.
Yote hayo ni ndani ya Gusii Cultural Experience. Kutakuwa na secure parking, vyakula vya kutosha na vinywaji kwa wingi. Nyote mnakaribishwa. Ili kujinunulia tikiti yako, ingia katika ukurasa wa Facebook Minto Gusii Festival, ukurasa wa Facebook ya radio yetu au TikTok Minto Gusii Festivals, na ubonyeze kiungo ama link au bonyeza *826*145#. Kiingilio ni shilingi 1500 kwa mtu mmoja na shilingi 7000 kwa kikundi cha watu 5.
Ningonyoma Nongomurana Ningonyoma
Bahati wanasema redio yetu ndiyo nyumbani. Radio yetu, kituo cha kipekee Nakuru City, wamenena wakazi wa Kuresoi North.
What's up my people, it's your girl Daisy from Kericho, nikiwa tune in with ELLY 254 radio yetu.
Yamune big up Kalenjin Kigurono Fechep Kirui from Eldoret. We are tuned in to ELLY 254 Evening Drive.
eyes coming like Bible. When them open up, you see heaven. Yeah, me girl, you bless my angel. Loving you like Rachel. We life coming like Bible. A parable of some greatness. From your born till now, that's still blessed. Never afraid of the hate stairs. You have the ever blessed good love. I gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. The ever blessed good love. Gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. The ever blessed good love. I gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. The ever blessed good love. I gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. Wine baby, like say you're giving me a boy baby. If it is a girl, you me kind take it. Squeeze up me body, what a birthday. Give me see peace of heaven when the skirt here live. Your last man make your earth hear this. If your heart look already, me a first aid kit. Come in a me house, girl, a world place this. Baby, you're not afraid, call me burn rapist. I gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. The ever blessed good love. Gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. The ever blessed good love. I gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. The ever blessed good love. I gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. You know rank like this. Me send love up on the head's eyelids. Me no kissy but me feel like this. When me see your movie style like lips. I know TV something y'all a real life this. Balance by your right wrist. When your foot is so high, girl, it is a flight risk. Come and fire house and me birthplace this. Baby, no brother friend call me burn rapist. I gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. The ever blessed good love. Gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. The ever blessed good love. I gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow. The ever blessed good love. I gotta go with you, and I'm in love with you like wow.
For the girl when you say them no regular. Your Gucci and your Fendi, you don't spend a penny for. It's either that or through your pot, some girl a carry belly bar. Some a girl feed the better, you no care, so tell you what. Pop the collar, spin your roll and throw it up in the dance. The man them gather round and watch you like them in a trance. Miss a glitter, miss a diamond, no figure you advance. To all the sitting printing and your brand new Sashi pants. Bam bam, wine to the ground. Muggle pon a girl because you know your body round. Bam bam, wine and go down. Rock out, make the man them surround. Bam bam, wine to the ground. Mag up on a girl because you know your body round. Bam bam, wine and go down. Shake your bam bam, shake your bam bam. Oh, you know the certain things you never do fi get a hype. Some girl a fi sell themself to live a better life. Them out a mix up drink them drink a dance them belly gripe. I said them never go down when them smoke the most pipe. You no mix up in that them they don't liberty at all. A big life you a live you no time for nothing small. A regular you flash up like them visa at the mall. And a beer name brand man I give your phone call. Bam bam, wine to the ground. Mag up on a girl because you know your body round. Bam bam, wine and go down. Rock out, make the man them surround. Bam bam, wine to the ground.
Kila siku ya wiki
pale katika pilika pale katika stage hapa hivi tuna supermarket iko pale hivi. Mkia mama amepiga tu. Dakika kidogo kijana mwingine naye ndio huyu.
Jumatatu hadi Ijumaa. Ungana naye ELLY 254 kwenye kipindi cha Evening Drive kutoka saa 10 jioni hadi saa 2 usiku. Burudani haswa midundo ya East Africa. Mazungumzo wazi ya
ndugu yetu tajika, ndugu yetu ambaye tulimtegemea sana, ndugu yetu ambaye alikuwa ni mtulivu mwenye furaha kila mara anapozungumza na watu. Ni mtu aliyetoa huduma zake kuna ya kwamba wakazi wanapata bidhaa muhimu zinazohitajika kule nyumbani.
Alright.
Haijafurahisha, lakini hapo kwa vitu na hapo ni mataifa yote wakuja pamoja au wakubwa wakuja pamoja wakae chini wazungumze mzozo wa vitu uishe.
Okay.
Sababu ukienda hivi itakuwa tuna shida mpaka vyetu sisi wenyewe. Na pia tu bado kuna wengine sijui nani walipigwa chuma mahali fulani.
Okay.
Sasa unashindwa tena usalama tena, kwani inakuaga aje? Mzazi akirudi kwake nyumbani ndio anashikwa, lakini wale wakola wanaendelea tu kufanya kazi yao tu huko. Na maafisa wetu wako katika patrol. Asante sana ndugu Elvis, katika drive on tuko pamoja.
Asante sana, thank you Daddy for sharing that. Na appreciate Sara jamani. Hello.
Poa sana.
Fresh sana. Unazungumza na nani?
Ule jamaa zinangi jina yake.
Asante sana, karibu sana.
Mimi niko ndani.
Na mijadala inayokuhusu.
Asante sana ndugu Elvis, katika drive on tuko pamoja.
Asante sana, thank you Daddy for sharing that. Na appreciate Sara jamani. Tunakuruhusu kuchangia kwa kila mada kwa njia ya kupiga simu. Hello.
Sasa.
Poa sana, ni aje?
Mimi niko poa.
Hello, mambo vipi?
Poa. Habari ya weekend?
Weekend imekuwa salama sana, labda weekend ya kwako?
Yangu ilikuwa mzuri.
Yes, mambo vipi?
Mambo fresh.
Fresh Sara jamani. Weekend ilikuwaje?
Weekend imekuwa tu salama, naenda tu Mungu anasaidia.
Namna hiyo pia kwangu iko fresh Sara, nashukuru. 0707 306 155 au 0734 360 120. Radio yetu, wewe na mimi daima. Inakuwa ni fresh tena zaidi, wewe msikilizaji wa kwetu, karibu sana kwenye debate drive moja kwa moja. Ile kwa siku ya Friday kama kawaida inakuanga ada yetu na desturi ya kwetu kumekisha kwamba tutakuletea mazungumzo wazi na kutoka sasa hivi mida ya saa 11 dakika 33 hadi pale mida labda ya saa 1 tutakuwa na mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja kila siku ya Friday. Sijui labda siku yako imekuwa namna gani? Unaweza dijulisha pale, uniambie siku imekwendea vipi, wiki imeenda namna gani? Tukiapproach tu weekend siku leo, unaweza niambia pale vipi kwa labda gari pale. Tuko na Ivan ndani ya mpango mzima wa the drive debate ama the debate drive, hasa kwenye mpango mzima vile wa evening drive. Na siku leo tuko na topic of the day ambao tuko tunazungumzia pale, lakini before that nikujuze kwamba tuko live kwenye ukurasa wa Facebook, vile pale kwenye ukurasa wa YouTube, na pale viweze kusubscribe, vile unaweza share the link ili pia iweze kufikia watu wengine pale. Kama wewe ni Gen Z, uko pale visual lady, unapendanga mostly about the debate, unaweza tu share bishta kwako pale ili pia iweze kuwa iko safi tena zaidi. Ndani ya studio zetu tuko na wageni ambao kwa pale kwenye picha kwetu moja kwa moja. Ivan, kwanza before uweze kuintroduce, uko namna gani?
Niko salama,
yes.
Hapo kwako?
Atabidi kwa salama sana. Namshukuru sana Mwenyezi Mungu.
Last time walitu promise kitu na wali promise na wamedeliver.
Ndio unaona.
Umeona?
Tunaona pale kwenye meza.
Watatuambia imetoka wapi. Labda walinunua alafu wakabrand pale.
Inaweza kuwa hatuwezi jua.
Wakadecide kubrand pale kidogo. Watatuambia.
Watatuambia tu venye iko. But I think ni kitu kizuri sana because uliweza kuwabariki. Baraka zako ndio zimefanya kazi. Pia baraka zangu sometimes, lakini yote 9:10 iko fresh tena zaidi.
Hapo sawa.
Siku mingi buda, ukiamua kupotea unapoteanga.
Wacha nisianzishe kesi.
Usianze kesi.
Saturday ilifaa tukue pamoja, nini ikafanyika?
Bwana. Meeting au shughuli ni mingi za kujenga nchi bro.
Naona motion movers wamejitayarisha kabisa.
Vizuri sana.
Na kama kawaida debate zetu ziko split into 2 segments. Tutaanza na head to head. Alafu tuingia kwenye discussion pale tuone kama watakuwa wametuconvince ama bado
itakuwa namna gani.
Itakuwa namna gani.
Lakini kabla tuweze kuingia pale vile, labda tuwajulishe kuhusiana na mada yetu ya siku ya leo. Tunazungumzia nini haswa?
Naona topic yetu ni how effective is the cut-off culture. So tutazidi kuongelea kuhusu cut-off culture. mwaka umekata off mtu?
Wengi bro. Wengi. Actually huu mwaka nikijaribu kuangalia vizuri, kuna kati ya familia ambao nimeweza kuwa cut off. Marafiki pia wengi sana. Na sisi kwa sababu labda nataka sana kwa cut off. Situation sometimes as allow tuweze kwa pamoja pale.
Circumstances.
Acha nisingie pale sana, nisingie deep sana. Tuweza kuiguzia juu juu.
Nimekupata.
Umenipata namna hiyo sasa. Kwa upande kwako ushika cut off?
Wacha tu save you for the discussion part. Naanza hapa nianze kupoa heart na debaters bado hawajaanza mambo yao.
Kweli kabisa. Kwa hivyo labda tu tumujulishe pale vile mtazamaji kwetu, unaweza tupata vizuri sana pale kwenye YouTube na vile vile pale kwenye Facebook ya kwetu Zeno App, tuko live na katika masafa 89.2 FM radio yetu. Ilikuwa siku ya Friday, ile siku ya kutoka. Tunasemanga kwamba ukitoka tuna make sure kwamba mazungumzo tunakupatia 1 2 3, iko tarehe 19 mwezi wa 9 mwaka 2025. Mida ni saa 11 dakika 36 ndio hizo sasa zishagonga pale. Jina langu ni ELLY, of course tuko naye Ivan. Sijui Ivan labda chukue hii opportunity kuweza kukaribisha wageni wa kwetu.
Motion movers.
Si wageni.
Evening.
Si wageni.
Yeah. Tumekuja studio yetu.
Yes.
This is the second time huko.
True.
And this is the second time tuna host. Kwa hivyo washakuwa wageni. Washakuwa wenyeji, sorry. Washakuwa wenyeji.
Yeah, episode 2.
Yes. And on my wacha tuanze introduction from the right.
Yeah.
From my right kwa sababu pale mwisho utajua kwa nini nime save that person akue ajintroduce wa mwisho. Utasikia tu atajijulisha.
Nitamsikiza.
Ataanza I think from Abdul pale on my right. Tajintroduce, sema kitu tu.
Yes.
Okay. Here we are, the Motion Movers members. And
tukaribia tu microphone kidogo, sikusikii. Vuta tu microphone kidogo. Yeah,
okay.
Nice one.
As I'm saying that we are Motion Movers here. As he said, we are not visitors anymore. They came for the first time for this session. Now we are here and we are pleased to you being inviting us to the station and learn. My name is Abdul. I'm from the Faculty of Arts and Social Science. I do economics. I'm from Egerton University. That'll give the chance my other colleagues at least to introduce themselves before the debated session, because it's going to be get hotter.
Yes. Vuta tumbele, usiogope tu, ivute tumbele vizuri sana, ukaribia.
Happy nice. Friday, ni Sheba Bitengo, one of the Motion Movers. Na mimi sitasema mengi, tusikize tu. Tunajitambulisha na jina na Motion. Thank you.
Asante.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and the invitation. They always say all the time is debating time. And as Motion Movers, we say it is unlearn to learn. Perhaps we are the intellectual cream. I'm also Derek, and I am the chairperson, Motion Movers. And at this particular point of time, just as Abdul said, it's gonna be late. Thank you.
Hey, Kali.
Umewapata?
Nimewapata. Umewapata vizuri sana.
Yeah. Hapa apart from kulan kuhusu debate, Kizungu pia utalan.
Hiyo itabidi tu.
Hapa tukiamua tushindane for 5 minutes tuongee Kizungu, ili utatoboa?
Vizuri sana, nitatoboa vizuri sana. Vizuri?
Haya. Wacha tuta kick off the debate.
Yeah.
Kawaida tuko na 5 minute speeches.
True.
Then tutapata 3 minutes for the reply speech. Ambao wataleta ile kitu tunaita rebuttals.
Yeah.
Unataka kutafsiri rebuttals ni nini?
Iko tu sawa. Si unajua last time tulikuwa hapa. Lakini bana before tuanze hapa. Usinichomee kama last time.
Acha tuone.
Last time ilikuwa vita bro. Ilikuwa vita.
Acha tuone.
But it's fine. Yeah.
Iko tu sawa.
Yes.
The debate that we are having today is how effective is the cut-off culture. And kwa wale wenye wanajua kuna mfumo ya debate ELLY inaitwa British Parliamentary System.
Yes.
In which the structure for the motions ni quite different from vile tumeiandika.
Sure.
Chaneza tu kukusomea. The motion yenye wame prepare for is tunaisoma, this house regrets the cut-off culture. So that is the motion yenye wamejipanga nayo, but largely in simpler terms for everyone to understand, ni how effective is the cut-off culture. So from the proposition, watatuambia mbona tuna regret the cut-off culture, what harms has the cut-off culture brought, na mambo kama hayo. And from the opposition, watatuambia mbona hatufai ku regret cut-off culture. Yes, umeweza kunipata?
Okay.
Yes.
Na kupata vizuri sana.
Haya, tuta kick off with the proposer. The proposer ni Abdul. Yes. The bell will go once at minute 1, then once at minute 4 to indicate that uko na 1 minute left. Then at minute 5 it will go twice, indicating that you're out of time. Yes. So whenever you're ready, you can kick us off.
The debate. So, good evening to you all, our listeners, and part of people who join this live session. I go by the name Abdurrahim Abdullahi Malim, a motion mover member also. The motion of today is that this house regrets cut-off culture as it goes. And for the purpose of eradication of clarity, be it our listeners, our viewers, you know, we have female, male, every kind of people, every kind of a person. The alteration that I'll be making, if it contradicts with anyone's violation, anyone feel that, let it be known that it's of no personal interest, but personal, but the interest of unlearn to learn, as our able chairs say. Okay, we'll be kicking off. Proposition side, cut-off culture. What refers to that cut-off culture? That terminology known as cut-off culture. It precisely refers to the practice of abruptly cutting ties with friends, partners, even family. Why do we cut off them? Because an individual may be seen toxic, problematic, or no longer serving one's growth. As said by Albert Einstein, that a person not adding growth to your progress, or not adding any sort of positivity, that person should be of no interest of being in your circle. I'll kick off direct to related to same as cancel culture. Cancel culture means you and Ivan, you're friends, and Ivan offends you in one way or another, and you feel like I'm no longer needing Ivan's presence in your. You no longer need Ivan's presence in your life. That's what is termed as cut-off culture. We'll kick off direct to what impact does it have? Why do people, yani, this house, we believe that we regret, as part of a proposition side, we duly regret that we should not be cutting off people. Why? We have erosion of dialogue and reconciliation. Dialogue means conversation between the two, bringing solution, because we always know that a problem shared is a half solved. But out of the regret, there'll be the erosion of dialogue and reconciliation. Reconciliation means we have partners, we have we have boyfriend and girlfriend, we have friends of the same gender, we have a husband and wife. Reconciliation means that we solve issue between, but after we cut off people, there shall be no erosion of dialogue. There shall be just erosion of dialogue. It will go away. There shall be having no time for urging or sabotaging that, okay, we should talk. No, it leads to that. Secondly, we have shallow relationships. What do I mean by shallow relationships? As of now, the Gen Z, the generation Z that we have in this 21st century, they always undergo, number one, what we call disputes, fights over land, fights over business entity, relationships, marriages. If that regret poses out of this contextualization of the shallow relationship, I think that there shall be that engagement. For example, you and your friend, you and your partner, you and your neighbor, you and your classmate, be it in school. Thirdly, we have the mental health toil. Why does it get? Let me use an example. Everyone in this room, they know that autonomy of dating. Every one of us date. If you are not dating, you have a friend. If you don't have a friend, you have your partner, business partner, you have your work partner, teammate partner in football. But after that, there should be mental health toil. The thing that is very essential in human life era is the mental health. That's why every June or when we are home, there are mental health for male, for female. Mental health, it toils or it damages. For example, you have a long-term partner that you are dating. You have a long-term partner. The two of you, how long have you been serving in this radio? How long are you partners? Friends miss partners. Maybe there shall be that. There was once that connectivity between you and your partner, and then the cut of autonomy areas into your life. There shall be that person. For example, if it's a lady, she had that so-called belief that this man won't leave me. Yeah. In as much as the opposition will come and say relationship do tampers, but mental health does not matter. That lady that believed in a man, that man that believed in a lady, what will be the relationship? What will be the mental health status of that person? Fourthly, we have stifling personal growth. Personal growth. For example, you had that mental health issue. Okay, after that, will it pause the growth of a person? Will it be impactful? Will it be sabotaging negativity? Other thing is that a person, after a person mental health progress, there is something called personal growth. You find a lady saying, okay, I've tampered the relationship with my man, but after that, what that man was doing to you, will there be personal growth for you? Maybe that person was supporting your entity, that's supporting your career and everything. They will be stiff. Lastly, we have the weakness community bond. As you said earlier, is that you had a family member you already cut off this year. Okay, that family member you cut off, maybe it was out of an issue that you could solve without using any form of let's say fights, let's say quarrels. In the 21st century, we live by diplomacy, not strength. Let me use that terminology Swahili saying kuwa fala mambo ikwe rai. That's the autonomy they use. As I wind up, join us in the proposition of the motion, so as we should not be allowing people to cut off from our session, be it because they pose progress, impact, and everything. With that, I rest my case.
Thank you. I want to commence by saying that it's only a fool who doesn't, get to learn the environment and also move from the place where he or she was stated or was instructed to be 7 years, 10 years ago up to this particular point of time. We are not in the era of our forefathers or the era of our grandfathers and mothers, whereby people could be told, no, blood is so thicker than water, and therefore there is no way that you can walk out of this because we are bounded to nothing as far as toxic and unhealthy relationships are concerned. Now, let me start by introducing the divination of the key terms in this debate on this motion. When you talk about the cut-off culture, it is not just walking away. It is setting strict boundaries, walking away from toxic people and harmful workplaces or abusive environment. Look at this scenario. you are staying with a person who intends to threaten you every and each day, and you know very well this relationship is adding no value. Tell me the reason as to why you should hold on to that person, and yet you know very well there is no value, no additional value that person is adding to your life. Now, what are some of the reasons as to why I say that as a living human being, you should not regret the decision of cutting someone off or a certain chain? One is it protects your mental health. When you talk about, trying to say that mental health, when it is in a state of worry, when you talk about cutting someone off, look at this scenario. You are close to a sewage that smells so, you feel that odor smell just close to you. And then you say, no, instead of me walking away, let me just chill on. Maybe it will be better tomorrow. The sewage is just a sewage. There is nothing. Perhaps the next day we are going to take you to a hospital because you will be sick because of that odor. Now, when you talk about mental health as a living human being, one, you take care of your mental health by setting boundaries. That is why we say cutting off is not just walking away, but is setting strict and clear boundaries. Number two, you talk about it triggers a personal growth. You have been with someone who is always pulling you down, telling you, you cannot do this. We intend to have these people that we always seek approval from, and then you will realize that you are trying to sell your idea of moving forward, but instead of this person encouraging you, telling you, no, this idea, it's good, but again, it cannot work just because you are too young. You don't have the guts to do this. You cannot make it. You don't have enough financials to start a business. You don't have enough skills to do this. You don't have this and this. If you can cut these people off, you will see yourself excelling and moving forward to even the skills that you could not even think you could have reached. Because at the end of the day, you can even tell these people who have managed to go notches higher and scale the heights of power, the heights financially and so forth and so on, most of these people, they intend to work with their own personal objectives, given the first priority, working around, having that self-motivation. That is one. Now, talk about accountability. Look at this scenario. A person who has been, some people even say, we are not progressing. I don't know. It's maybe because of the ill powers. It's not. But again, you can even tell that the biggest problem is the person who is closer to you. Because if you will leave this person, the evils of the person will be exposed. And therefore, these people, they could be in a position to serve. And we can be in a position to end some of the challenges that has been facing the society. For example, if we say we are not going with people who are corrupt, we are going to cut off these people, we are going to punish these people, it tells us how intolerant we are to such kind of characters. And we are fueling the aspect of change, not only within ourselves, but also within the society. And therefore, we not only fuel the personal growth, but also fuel the growth of the society and the country at large. And that is why it is very prudent, as people who are championing for progress, as people who are championing, for a better tomorrow, not a time that it was before, that we should always be at the forefront of cutting off those characters and things that doesn't work for us. Again, this aspect also saves time. You should not be engaging with someone who at all adds no value onto you, and you are holding on to reconciliations and without any tie must be of value to an individual. If it is not, scrub it off. Thank you.
itakuwa moto,
itakuwa hatari sana.
Cha tuwapatie dakika moja wa prepare for nini, wa prepare for the rebuttals.
Yes,
walituambia kweli itakuwa moto. Eli
walisema ukweli, of which bado naona ni kwamba ni moto hasa. Ni moto ile. Tuko na mtu fulani hapa anasikiza kutoka Majio, anaitwa Sash. Anasema cut them off, don't stress too much, like zile emoji za kucheka.
Kwa hivyo Sash ako serious?
Yeah, ako serious.
Tukisumbuliwa kidogo, cut huyo mtu off.
Yeah, muondoe kabisa.
Haya, wacha wamalize rebuttals. Alafu tuingie kwenye discussion pale tuone. Tuone maoni ya kina Sash ni gani?
Iko gani by the way? Leo nitakuwa nafungua line ya simu.
So mtu akiona any question ama kitu kama hiyo atapiga simu.
Exactly.
Sawa.
Yeah. Tukiingia pale kwenye discussion, nataka kujua zaidi kuhusiana mambo na Stephen personal growth.
Kweli?
Sijaelewa kidogo. Lakini tutasikia tu kutoka kwake. Yeah, tutasikia kutoka kwake.
Abdul, ready with the rebuttals? And final speech, concluding speech. Yeah. Your 3 minutes will start whenever you're ready.
Once Albert Einstein said that a change is never abrupt but gradual. You are a radio reporter and radio presenter. Okay. And you had that girl, that toxic lady, let's say, whom, let's say, was once impactful to your life, was somehow adding growth to your life. We men, in as much as we disregard everything in this world, I'm also counting myself into it, because we have ladies who support men, and we have a man who supports a lady, and vice versa. It's called diversification. My opponent talked about it, and it talks enhancement of growth. Okay, in as much as you want to cut off person, you say it's for your own growth. Is growth gradual to you? Is it that something that will come up with a blink of an eye? Secondly, he talked about protect mental health. I ask a question. Whose mental health is more important? The person who endured the abuse or the person who is being left behind? The verdict in law, they say person whom is being affected. The other thing is that on the mental health preference, we have a person who is being cut off and a person who wants to cut the other one off. There is this person whom he endured that abuse, be it a man, be it a lady. Precisely, in this room, the majority we are men. You have that lady. She lost everything for you, for example. And on the other one, we have another man, everything with that lady. And the other want to cut the other party off. The question I want to ask him is that whose mental health is of more important? The person who endured the abuse or the one who's being left behind? He talked about saving time. If cutting off would have been saving time, many single men and ladies would have heard of their progress, would have heard of their development and everything. Saving time lies upon yourself, not you cutting your partner. He talked about on the mental health we have. How can we endure our own mental health without even cutting off? We have dialogue, as I talked about. Dialogue is the discussion between the two, be it parties, be it workers, be it colleagues, be it workmates, be it partners, husband and wife, because our senior psychologist once said that a problem shared is a half solved. That's why many marriages do collapse out of the autonomy of let me cut off so and so as. Lastly, we have therapy and reconciliation. Therapy is where you yourself, you're your own therapy by avoiding what is said to be the societal norm and what is said to be done on the autonomy of life. With that, I rest my case on my rebuttal.
One of the biggest problems we have on this earth is using wise statements or locating wise statements where they are unnecessarily applicable. When you talk about growth, gradual growth and whatever, growth is not a blink of an eye. It is just a common knowledge. You just don't wake up and you find yourself, scaling the heights of, as far as development is concerned. You are talking about the first step to growth is knowing that you have your personal space and you can make something better out of yourself. And that is why, as an individual who cares a lot about himself, you must be able to know that there is a lot beyond, that toxic relationship, that toxic chains and such kind of things. Now, you're talking about telling me about single ladies and single men having all the time on this earth. I was saying that as far as reconciliations, engagements, conversations with someone who doesn't add value to your lives are concerned, that is a total waste of time. That time you are sitting to say, you did this to me, I told you this, you didn't change. You should be going out and do something for yourself. You should be using that time to at least add another skill in your life, instead of just wasting time, following on some things you know very well they add nothing, absolutely nothing to your life. And lastly, when you talk about mental health, whose mental health is important? Your personal mental health is your first wealth, and therefore you should prioritize yourself than anything else. It is only Jesus Christ whose life was put on jeopardy, for the sake of the world. You are not Jesus Christ, and therefore, as an individual who has the mandate of improving himself each and every, you cannot be effective not unless your mental health is catered for. Even that person who you are trying to tell us that you care so much about needs you sober, needs you okay. And for that to be effective, for these relationships and ties to be effective, our mental health must be our first priority. Thank you.
Eli walituambia itakuwa moto. Walituambia itakuwa moto.
Yeah.
Ndio tunaita battle of the wits.
Kali
intellectual creams. Wame dispense knowledge hapa, design nyingine hatari sana. Design nyingine hatari sana.
Yeah.
Eli, swali yangu ya kwanza ilikuwa now that tulikuwa tunangojea time ya discussion ifike.
Yeah.
Umesema umecut off watu sana mwaka huu.
Yeah, nimecut off watu. Although si wengi sana, lakini nimecut off watu.
Na kuna watu bado wako kwa line.
Wengi sana.
Kwa hivyo i-cut off aishi hapa.
Sana by the way. Because najaribu kufikiria mbona nikuwe na watu contacts kama 1000 kwenye simu yangu. Na wakati ambapo nahitaji msaada, only 2 of them wanaweza kuja pale waweze kuchipin kwenye shida za kwangu. Wengine wanafanya nini kwa life yangu? Kwa simu yangu, kuview status tu ama?
Nakufuata. Derek atatujibu tu time ya discussion.
Kwa Derek. Facebook, okay, wanaiconsider kama kitu outdated. But ukijaribu kuangalia, kitambo wakati ambapo labda tulikuwa tunajaribu tu kuitumia, ungepata una accept zile friend request kutoka kwa watu tofauti tofauti. Ni ku accept tu ndo wakwe wengi. But huyu mtu hakuna kitu anakuja ku add kwenye maisha yako, hakuna value yote ambayo analeta pale. Hata maybe sometimes ukipost content ya kwako halike, ha-comment, ha-share. So hakuna value yote ambayo anaadi kwa life yako.
Nakupata sana.
Unanipata?
Pale Abdul ametuambia kuna personal growth yenye mtu anafaa kupata. Na the first priority yenye unafaa kujipatia pale ni mental health yako, ni very important.
Sure.
Wakati ambapo ukifeel ni kama unakuwa drained na relationship yoyote, be it friendship, be it any form of relationship, anasema kucut off mtu si mbaya. Ni kweli Abdul?
First, as I say, is that okay, mfano, let me use myself. Tukitumia nilisema mfano mwingine, kuna ule anaweza kuwa offended. Acha nitumie mfano wangu. Mfano, I have a business partner. And as it started, that business partner made blow impact to my life. That is positivity. I'm talking about positivity. Okay, in as much as ndio tufikia hapo kwa kukata off hiyo mtu. I'm talking out of positivity. In as much as nifikie mtu kwa positive kumcut off ama yani cut off, tuangalie yani progress gani tulimake na yeye. That is number one. Secondly, there is negotiation. Negotiation. Ndio maana wapata like ndoa nyingi zinavunjika. As it stand, is it how many percent? My co-partner will confirm, huyo chair ata confirm atuambie how many relationship has broken as it stand mpaka leo September from the start of 2025. Number one, kuna ile wataka kwenda na pride. Wataka kwenda, okay, for example, let me use relationship campus. Wacha tusiende kwa marriage. Relationship campus, wapata kuna ile mtu anasema mimi siwezi mtext wa kwanza. Sawa. Lazima nitext wa kwanza. Okay, before umfikie hapo, like ni nani atatext mwingine wa kwanza? Ni nani ataongelesha mwingine wa kwanza? Angalia pale mbeleni mlifika wapi? Sasa una gari, sawa? Hiyo gari wataka kwenda Namanga, sawa? Ushafika ile barabara ya Kajiado. Will you quit the journey umalizie ama uta end the journey? Kiwewe. Jibu. Yaani ushamla mbuzi mzima, ni mkia umekubakia. Mbona usimle huyo? Mbona usimalize yote? Maliza yote. Like
kati mwingine unaweza pata mkia umeoza, so inabidi tu
wewe sema mkia umeoza. Ushafika. Yaani nikumalizia tu. Sawa. Let us get back to marriage. Sawa. We have a husband and wife. Sawa. In as much as kuna husband and wife, there is a lot that they made for each other. Progress, we support business ya mwingine. Issue upata, okay, mwanaume anaamua out of pride ama a lady anaamua out of pride, let me cut off this person. Pale mbeleni you made a lot of impact to each other. Consider progressive autonomy, not alliterative autonomy. Alliterative autonomy ile ushaanza tu kuona weakness ya mtu tukiasi unamwambia mimi cheki sikuhitaji, ishia. Unambia sikudai, ishia, jitoe. Unambia jitoe tu. Hamjui what you made for each other back then. So look at the progress you made for yourselves. I'm talking of the partners. The other thing is that growth. Ulikuwa unaongelea growth, si ndio? Hiyo growth ongelea maybe or huyo partner wako ama huyo colleague wako ama huyo workmate, kama ni shule huyo coursemate, mlisaidiana mahali. Hiyo growth kama ni muziki, we have many artists huku. Well, sasa tuko out of the motion. We are discussing real life scenario. Partner simanishi ati dem na jamaa peke yake, mke na mume peke yake. Kuna kama ni wangoma, kuna partner wako. Kama ni kuna ile ulikuwa team, kuna kule kuinuana. Alafu Mswahili anakuambia mtu ni mtu, upweke ni uvundo. Utauliwa. Yani loneliness kills. As in as much as unataka kufika your level, consider a lot of things. Wacha tukaribishe wenzetu pia waongee mawili matatu.
Sheba.
Mali imefikia, I guess it's already clear on the advantages na disadvantages. Mali imefikia, it's already clear to us the effects za ku cut off mtu, whether positively ama negatively. Tumeona the effects. Now I want us to understand actually one thing before we start on this discussion with me, is that cutting off is an abrupt, permanent. It's something that you don't go back to, no explanations, no nothing. And at this point, we are all welcome to have contrasting opinions, because it's a social norm, it's a social trend. Na kila mtu akona their own opinion of what they want to be in society, what roles they want to take in society, which is why Mimi, I am not going to major on whether it is bad or whether it is good, but actually I am going to urge whoever is listening, askize vizuri, engage whatever they are getting from this show with their own life situations, because wisdom is not a formula, it is a book of principles. Kwa hivyo what you're getting, you apply in your situations. And tuanzie na the fact that this is a new era, is tumeambiwa na our chair. We are not living in those times whereby we were directed by only society norms and hakuna mtu ako welcome to go against them because it's a taboo or it's bad or you're banished from the society. But looking at the millennials and the Gen Zs, these are people who have advanced in thinking, advanced in emotional intelligence, and even in technology. When we're talking about technology, how is it relevant? Now, our discussion for today. See, this is how we relate with people. It's talking about how we are relating with people. Now, in today's society, hatuwezi sema that interactions are only physical. They are not limited to the physical world alone. Kuna also the digital world. Na ukiangalia hata in most times, whether it is your childhood friends ama your high school friends, your colleagues, you're interacting online pia. And kama it is cutting off, the simplest way to cut off someone ni kutumia the digital platforms, because it is just one click, block. Just one click, you can't send SMSs, you can't talk to anyone, you don't receive calls, and that's that. Kila kitu imeisha. Apart from that, now, looking at the physical one, the physical cutting off is whereby unakata kabisa any physical interaction, any confrontation. You don't want anything to do with anyone, and that's that. Venye tumeambiwa, setting very, in fact, very strict boundaries. Hata hizo si boundaries, sasa they are walls. You're keeping the other person away. And this one is mostly experienced in relationships being highest kwa hii cut-off rate, this cut-off culture, followed by friendships, then finally family, because to admit to tuseme tu kweli, cutting off your sister is going to be very difficult. Mnapatana at the end of the day nyumba moja, cutting off your mother na alafu siku you're asking mom tunapika nini, very relevant. But inafikanga a point whereby you also have to cut off family members. Na tukiangalia, what are the reasons why most people prefer to cut off other people? Kuna the positive ones na kuna the negative ones. Tumeambiwa from Abdul that Abdul was actually talking about the psychological aspect of it. The mental, the emotional. Akasema that we're not supposed to cut off people. You see, if it's something abrupt, yani ni ile nye we were relating, jana tulikuwa tunaongea vitu vizuri, leo asubuhi I am not picking your calls and it continues. You see, that one leaves something in the mind of mwenye amekuwa cut off. Maybe they are the victim in this case. And if you're cutting off that someone, no explanations, no nothing, you don't want to talk to that person anymore, that is psychological torture. And in a way, people also do it in the current times as a way of punishing. So-and-so does not meet my standards, cut off. So-and-so hakunipeleka out, cut off. So-and-so alininyima notes, cut off. That's the way you end in relationships. I'd say it is actually very immature not to embrace that emotional aspect of it, trying to own up for whatever you have done. It's accountability, which is very essential in today's relationships, because we have to communicate. I have to know what's going on with you. I have to know why did you do this or that. But inafikia a point whereby you are with someone who is completely wasting your time. Unamuuliza hii siku ya kwanza akona excuse, the next day amekugaslight, the next day amekumanipulate. Now it's not them with the issue, imekuwa sasa ni wewe. Oh, mbona huku show up, si tulikuwa tumeagree unakuja na nguo ya red, wewe mbona hukuja na nguo. You see, sasa that discussion has shifted from mbona huku kuja to mbona huku vaa nguo ya red, and that's very irrelevant. In fact, it's emotional blackmail. That is the point where inafika and you cannot have a conversation with this person. You are just talking to each other. There's no communication, no conversation. Cut off.
But at what point, what are the standards yenye nafaa to check so that to know this particular person amepita a limit in which you can compromise we can tolerate?
Now, I'm going to ask you another question. At what point are you able kukaa chini na mtu? Okay, how do you feel umekuwa heard, ama someone has heard you, someone is respecting you? At what point, like, how do you know someone is listening to you, someone respects you? How do you know?
Now, there are a couple of situations where probably due to miscommunication unapata umecut off mtu as a way of avoiding to have that particular conversation. It might be someone is dishonest to me, as someone is manipulating. Someone is very manipulative in the situation yenye tuko. But cutting them off can be seen as being avoidant. It's just that sitaki to have that particular conversation with this particular person. That is why now I cut off. But isn't that going to be detrimental to any other relationship that I'm going to have afterwards? Because kila time takuwa naona hiyo, ni Ellie alikuwa amenikasirisha, the best way yenye naweza jitoa from this particular situation ni cut off. But unaweza pata it's a minor disagreement yenye imesababisha hiyo. But if we choose that as an option, don't you feel like it is going to be detrimental to any other kind of relationship that we are going to have?
Now this is where emotional intelligence comes in. Because when we are talking about cut off, this the first nini is definition. Mali tulisema it's an abrupt, yani you just stop. Nivo, I want nothing to do with you. But why are you doing this? It's for mental and emotional growth. And now you see, it's not going to be growth if the way you're confronting your things is by avoiding them. I believe that if you're running away from something, it will eventually catch up to you. Oma, if it does not catch up to you, it will be way, way worse if you have to come back to it. Because it's already a growing problem. So wewe unarudi tu back to square one. And at this point, people should actually identify what to fight and what not to fight. Because sioni the point where we have to keep discussing each day why I saw you with another guy. Kila siku, that's the point of discussion. No, please. Inafika a point, I can't ask you anymore. Because hatusongi, you don't want to reply, and it's mental torture. In fact, it's stagnation for the one who is experiencing this. So, move on. Cut off, move on.
All right. Derek, being the president of Motion Movers pale, if someone is inconsistent with coming for the debates, has show up on time, and, well, unazoona ni kama this particular person is actually dragging the club down. So do you feel like that particular person uta-address aje hiyo issue? Will you like move directly to cut them off from the club and everything? Do you feel like that is a good move to take?
Thank you so much. When it comes to the club, you don't feel, because the club is guided by the constitution. And when it comes to the constitution, our constitution is very clear as far as attendance is concerned. And it says, if a member misses or fails to attend 3 consecutive sittings of the House without the office being aware of the circumstances or the situation, then automatically you cease to be a member. So that is not attached to feeling. You know, when it comes to an organization, you don't feel as a leader, because your feelings we don't have nothing to do with your feelings. The club is guided by the constitution, and that is why it is so clear. Every member knows this is my role as a member. I have to go to the debate. I have to do this. So when you go against the rule of the club, then automatically you get yourself out of the club. Thank you.
So does this mean, okay, my point was, if it is something that can be effective, can be effective in a group or in a certain club, that means with the same concept, I can equally use it in any relationship that I am in, if it has if there is proof that that particular strategy is effective. Is that true?
It is circumstantial. Every setup in a society, you will agree with me that in every tie there is always a reason behind that tie. So when you talk about, there is some rules in a certain tie cannot be applicable to a certain tie. For example, rules that are, or the bond between family members is not the bond between fiancés, is not the bond between friends, is not the bond between colleagues at work, that is. So at a point whereby you feel, now that is where now the feeling comes in. At a point where you feel this person or the individual is not acting as per to the objectives of the tie, or whatever the factors behind the tie, then I always say, if it cannot work, then there is always another way. There is a way better than that what you are doing. There is a space beyond the wall. So don't just stick to that wall. Move and find another place, a free place. There might be a very fine yard. You are just locking yourself in a cage.
I understand that, but in the generation that we are living in, for example, in a work environment, naweza kuja hapa and I'm supposed to dress fully formal, but the management hainipati any reason as to why I'm supposed to dress fully formal, and I might see that as an inconvenience to the kind of comfort that I am supposed to have, kwa sababu wameni limit to a particular thing. And nowadays wanasema most employers wanaogopa kuemploy Gen Zs because of the constant questioning of mbona, kwa nini, mbona nafaa kufanya hivi, kwa nini, and that mostly becomes an inconvenience between the employees and the employer, and that becomes one of the major reasons as to why employers cut off their employees, and employees equally watakuwa comfortable kuachana na that particular work kwa sababu of that specific restraint that is there. And hence my question, do you feel like that particular strategy has been working in the current generation that we are in and in the various positions that we are in? Because Sheba ametuambia it is largely subjective. It's not all situations ndo to opt for that cutting off. It will depend on whether your standards were met, whether that particular situation, that was the only alternative, that was the best alternative. Kwa sababu maybe umetry setting boundaries but haiwork, so cutting off becomes the most plausible option. And if it has proved that it has worked in various organizations, in various situations, does this mean it is highly effective in most of the situations, most of the relationships that we are in?
Thank you, Ivan. There is some things that it's just common knowledge. You cannot set standards on your boss. Your boss is your boss. There is, in every job there is what we call job description. Before you applied for that job, you must have read that job description. If the job description demand you to appear in a certain way and you still applied for the job, you have to adhere to the rules of the job. At a certain point, there is a certain system of nature that we cannot alter. For instance, you cannot come and you want to tell the boss that your original idea of people coming here with official or dressing formally, it is a crooked idea, and I feel you are not the boss. Wait for your time to come, be the boss, and tell your people to dress just casually, or come to your work with tatema and unfinished clothes, or someone can come to job with a short. and you will be okay with it. But for that particular point of time, you are somewhere, you know. And in a society, there is a system that a society operates on. There is some factors behind every reason, every action in a society. And some of these factors are, you know, some of them, they are subject to questioning to some point, and some they are not. So there is, and this is even something that we should agree, or we should be in consensus as Gen Z. In every human life, there is two circles. There is that circle of concern, and there is that circle of influence. You know, the pattern of life that the society, or the factors that at which the society drives on, are just between the circle of concerned. You are concerned, yes, I don't like dressing or visual to job, but again, it is the job description. It is just you are concerned, you know. Not unless you have any better option at that particular point, then you stand a chance to tell the boss, no, I cannot dress or visual informal. I'm so comfortable with wearing clogs and shorts to your work. Then if you will agree, fine and well. If you don't, let me move on. And that is why it is so prudent that before you start something, set clear objectives on what you are going to do with that. You know. Now, again, on the other circle of influence, you can only influence the decisions you make, things between your personal circle. Those are the only things you are able to influence. Now, that is why I'm saying cutting off in some situations, it is very effective as far as the objective of that tie is concerned. You cannot tell me you are setting standards on a job and you don't have any other place to go. You will just be a beggar, begging 20 bobs in the streets, and you will be adding nothing to the economy of the country.
Ellie, sijui utatupatia story yako ya kucut off watu kwanza?
Unless kwanza nimuulize swali. Labda nimuulize tu swali pale. Kulingana na mimi, wakati ambapo umesema unataka cut off, personally nitaona kuna kitu nataka kupotelea. So nikuulize, labda does cutting off strengthen your conflict management skills zako wewe mwenyewe ama ina weaken?
Thank you for the question. It's a very wise question, and that is why, one, if you listen to the honorable member just sitting close to me, one of the things she said is that there is some things, before you cut off, there is some things you need to weigh. There is some situations you intend to face head on. You know, there is a problem with a family member. You don't cut off a family member. You face that situation. You talk it out. You have a problem with your fiancé. Before you cut that person off, you sit down and talk. You know, there is a limit of dialogue. You know, there is in conflict management, there is some of the factors that you have to consider. Because let me ask you a question. Why should I sit here? I was here yesterday. I am here today. I will be here tomorrow, a day after tomorrow, and a day after that, I just telling you the same thing. You know, I don't like your behavior. You should be changing. You know, I don't like this. You should be doing this. And then you will be telling me the same thing. I will change. I'll do this. I'll do this. I'll do this. Even in the workspace, your employer works so close to that person. Atambia, mimi sijapenda unavyokuja ukiwa umechelewa kazi. And the next day, that person anakuja very early, and it's very effective. So when you talk about conflict management, or the aspect of you bettering your conflict management, know when to cut off, know when to engage in a dialogue, know when, you know, to just assume, because assuming is also another better tool of, you know, making things better, because there is some things you don't need to talk about them. You just look and assume, and then things gonna change, gonna be better. Instead of, you know, pinpointing everything, you become a nagging person.
Yeah. To make our audience waweze kuelewa zaidi pale, ningetaka tusimame na msimamo mmoja. When are you supposed to cut someone off? Wakati umefanya nini? Yes, nitaangalia vitu kama zenye factors ambazo unasema pale, but wakati upi ambao napaswa kumcut off?
Now, you have your personal space, and that personal space must be jealously guarded. Any person Who doesn't? You know, everyone settles where he or she has peace. If that peace is threatened, then at that particular point of time, you don't have another option. You just have to let it go. Number 2, your mental health, just as I said, it is your first priority wealth. If that is threatened, you don't have to think twice. It's just a let it go thing, you know. Your personal development, it is one of the core things that a person has to guard. If a person is not adding value to your life, let that person go. There is always a better place beyond what you say.
But Derek, don't you think by cutting them off, something might be very minor, unaweza consider something an issue very minor, but it is very major on your side. So by cutting this particular person off from the reasoning yenye umetupatia, won't I be isolating a complex discussion that we're supposed to have? Kwa sababu, in my personal opinion, if I am to cut someone off, hiyo inamaanisha nimefika mwisho, sina any other option. But most people in a lot of situations that we are in, ata cut off mtu based by the fact that atuelewani. Most conversations, most people don't have difficult conversations kwa sababu wanaona a safe option is wacha ni cut off, there's another better person that I'll find out here. And this comes into mind if you're going to consider romantic relationship most of the time, unapata mtu ame hold on to someone kwa sababu ajapata ile clarity, kwa sababu I'm trying to think which is the reason as to why tumeachana na this particular person. Is there kuna something yenye tungefanya, and that particular thing might just be engaging in a conversation with this particular person, but tumeona the best thing is wacha ni cut off huyo mtu, wacha ni cut off this particular person kwa sababu seems like that is the best option to go, but is it really the best option?
That is why I say objective. Being objective is very, very important. You know, the problem with this romantic relationship is that we leave our brains behind and we tend to think with our hearts. That's the biggest problem we have in this current situation. Now, when you talk about the romantic aspect of it, you know, there is somewhere we fail even, more so as the younger people. You will tell me that statistics have it, back in 1989, the rate of separation and divorce was just about 4.6%. But by 2022, this rate was 9.3%. You will tell me the comparison between men and women, and then you will agree with me that the rate at which these people or the women are being separated or getting divorced is higher than that of men. One of the biggest problem is we raise the bars too higher beyond our capacity. You know, you have met someone and then you are trying to build a paradise, and you know very well you are just from Kayole, you are just from around here, you are just from Njoro. Sorry to mention, but again, you want to build a life of Runda, you want to build a life of, I don't know. Let us be precise and very honest with ourselves. That is the first thing, and very effective. Cutting off is the best option where objectives are not met and are not clear. That is my stand. Because if at any cost, imagine of a scenario, Ivan, you are having a lady who is asking you what kind of a man you are. And then you still hold on that, you know, we can still be talking, we can still... There is better things. And that is why I said, before things go too far until you reach a cutting off point, let someone know who you are. Let someone know your boundaries. Let someone know, to this point, even is not okay with me. You see that? Let this person know that if an issue has raised, I don't need to raise voice over even for us to solve a problem. We just need to sit down and talk. But if you as just a thin thing, I call some of these issues thin problems. A thin problem has risen up, and then someone is just shouting on you, just raising voices. Do you think you're going to get something better out of that conversation? There's nothing. So if at all a person is not up to your level of thinking, not up to your standard level of problem solving capacities, you just let go. It is not yours. Accept, let it go. And give yourself a room for advancement. Give yourself a room for learning. There is a better version of you beyond that version that you want to hold on to. Yes.
Najua Abdul, cha nikuulize swali. The other time wakati tulikuwa tuna have a discussion hapa, Ellie alisikia I want to assume ya Islam kwanza before ni make comment, ndio? Okay, sawa. Ellie hapa alisikia that kuna 72 virgins that anaweza pata mbinguni. And that's why unamwona kuna Arafat anataka kuconvert. Sijui Ellie, najua reasons zako ni mbili. Either unataka 4 wives ama unataka 72 virgins wakati
4 wives.
Anyway, Abdul, at what point what are some of the things that you feel hauwezi compromise regardless of the kind of relationship that you're having, be it family, be it friends, be it a romantic partner, hauwezi compromise this particular thing? What do you think, what's that one particular thing and you feel hauwezi compromise at all?
Dishonesty.
Okay.
Precisely, number one, let's say I have watch out to see dodging into relationships. First, I have a business premise, let's say, and there is that person I entrusted. I want to mention the referral person A. Nimemwentrust, nimemweka pale counter. Nimemwambia weka hapa, record every transaction that's coming in, the expenses, the profit, the monetary chain, ya hii premise nieke. But the moment you find, and let me say precisely, we Muslims, we do reward honesty, and any person who is listening to this show can adhere to that. Muslim communities, hata nyinyi, hata hii wetu, let me not generalize, mtu asiseme okay Abdul is being personal. No. Our African communities, many bosses, they do allow honesty, they do reward honesty. For example, my chair, also Derek, we go to, let's say, these are organizations, these are motion movers, we go to an event, we emerge victorious. As the chair, we won't even tell him the chair, we want to be rewarded. He'll be there, he will see that, okay, let me reward these people. Same way in business, same way in relationship. Opata partners who hit anniversary year, they do celebration. That is a reward. Teachers, they have that allowances. That's reward. Kazini, pale, shuleni, kila mahali. Ball pia. Top scorer, he's being given a golden boot. Best player everywhere. There is no place that honesty is not rewarded. Secondly, let me dodge into relationships. Wacha nisiongelee ya campus sasa. Let me dodge into real relationship. Ingine ni kudanganyana tu.
Umesikia?
Nimesikia.
Yeah, campus ni kudanganyana tu.
Though kuna zile ambazo zinawaka vizuri
sana. Yeah, there are still that.
Yeah, but high percentage ni zile ambazo.
But in low. Uki dodge into statistics that people wenye wametoka into campus wameenda wakaishi maisha pale mbeleni, it's you can count 1 or 2, let's say, or 3. True. Lakini let me dodge into marriage. Okay. Let me dodge into diversification of problem ya mwanaume na mwanagenzi, yani mwanamke. Opata, a man is rich. A man has a good job, has a paying job, but what a lady demand is attention. A man is poor, but gives the lady attention. What a lady demands is money. even in the mental health podcast that I attended in June, they ask, what do women literally want?
Sheba atatuambia.
Actually,
yeah, she will answer by the on that. When you are rich, she wants attention. When you are poor, she wants money. You know, these two cannot mix. It's like mpanda farasi wawili utapasuka tu msamba mwisho yani. You can't ride two horses at the same time. There are things that wapata for relationship to grow, there shall be understand the situation of your partner. I'm talking about categorically marriage. Wapata I've seen people, the Somali community.
Are you married?
I'm not married.
Okay.
But I'm a mental health podcast. That's why I'm telling you. Out of experience. Bado mdogo, Mungu ataleta tu mwanamke wa kuoa. Sasa wapata watu wametoka chini. Marriage, I'm talking marriage level. Because nikisema ni relationship, najua hata wewe Derek ataniingilia vibaya. Sasa wacha niongelee marriage. Kuna watu wametoka yani wakilala bed sitter. Wamevumiliana progress nini. Mungu anafungua barabara out of the hard work that is being portrayed by the two. But pia utapata there's that man ni broke, amekuwa bed sitter, dem anataka ile luxury life anamwacha, ama mwanaume anaacha ule dem out of, let's say ashapata. I'm talking about the two, ndo mtu asiseme yani nina lie on any side. Upata kama ni mwanaume ameachwa na mwanamke, na kama ni mwanamke anaachwa na mwanaume, hivyo diversification. Upata support your partner, that's the case. Lakini ikifika mahali mtu analeta dishonesty, hapo tu just humbly, as my chair said, you know, in psychology say the first time it's a mistake. Ile unaambia mwanamke, kama ni mwanamke wako kwa nyumba, marriage precisely, amekosea, unamwambia this is what I dislike about you, change on it. The second time it's a choice, and the third time it's a lifestyle. Unapata umeoa mwanamke, umemweka kwa nyumba, she comes home late. The first time umemcorrect, imekuwa issue. Second time hiyo ni choice yake, and the third time hiyo ni lifestyle yake. Mtu hawezi badilika, huwezi mchange kumshautia kila wakati, okay wewe fanya hivi, no. Just as a man or as a lady, that person mwenye lazima tu mkosoe kila wakati na kaa habadiliki, unampa tu nafasi yake tu aende tu. Yeah.
What happens when let's talk about the business partner wako vile ulikuwa umemsema. Someone can be honest about being dishonest. Okay? Amekuja amekwambia for the past 2 months, yes nilikuwa nakwambia hatujeuza, but kuna this particular products zenye niliziuza and nikaza kuzireplace. Maybe aliziuza at a cheaper price, ama alikuwa too dishonest in a way yeye mwenyewe ata benefit as an individual. Na wewe huko unajua. Kumbuka amekuwa honest about being dishonest. Inamaanisha kama hangekwambia haungejua. Are you going to cut off this employee of yours?
Okay, kama it's about bidhaa, kama ameongeza price out of my know-how, and kama amepunguza price out of my know-how, na amekam openly saying that, you know Abdul, I've made this and that, but out of your to release that benefit of doubt, nikakwambia for the first time, I won't say that this man is being dishonest.
So regardless of the duration nenye amekuwa dishonest, haitamata.
Okay, you talk about the duration, imekuwa sana.
Yeah, imekuwa sana, but huko unajua, but amekuja kukuambia, that means kama hangekwambia haungejua.
Okay, if it's a long span of time, then I think if it's not even thinking, it's the autonomy that you don't retain that person in your business premise, because that person, if he keep your secret, it's a high probability that kuna kitu ingine amefanya that you don't know.
So does this mean in such a setting sifai kukuwa honest? Kama nimekuwa nikiiba, niendelee tu kuiba, but ninyamazie tu, nisiambie boss wangu, nisimwambie anything, ninyamazie tu.
Wajua, kwa hii maisha hata kwa biashara, kwa mahusiano, waambia we cheat tu ila usipatikane. Ukishapatikana, I'm not encouraging that people should cheat. My chair, don't misquote me. Like unapata, we have even in the Radio Jambo show, unapata a person opens up and say, anaambia ile kwa Gidi na Ghost asubuhi. Pale asubuhi Radio Jambo ama ni wapi. Wapata mtu anaambiwa, ule msichana ambaye nimekuwa nikilea sio wako. Wewe kama mwanaume utafanya vipi? Let me pose that question to Mr. Derek. You have been married to a lady and then you raise a kid. That kid reached, let's say, 4 years, 5 years. Then a lady opens up to you and tells you, okay, Bwana Derek, do you know that this child that we have been raising together is not your biological child? What will you do? Answer hapo.
Bwana Ivan, I think it is high time when you just see a dog moving around a clean carpet, you just, ensure that that dog vacates from that carpet before it shits on that carpet. One of the things that I said when I started the presentation, I said, cutting off enhances presentability. There is no point of time you are going to tell us that we danganya tu lakini usipatikane. Far is already far. Umekuwa ukiiba, umekuwa ukifanya masuala haya yote. Sasa nieleze sababu ambayo inakufanya wewe tangia uanze kufanya swala hili bila mimi kulifahamu hivi sasa ikakuwaje? There is nothing like being an angel. You are suddenly an angel. It doesn't happen like that. You have been doing this and now you want to, convince me otherwise. It doesn't work like that. And that is why nikasema cutting off increases or enhances accountability, because another worker will see it. Kumbe naweza pia iba, niibe kidogo, nikishamaliza nitaenda niambie bosi kwamba nimekuwa nikiiba, lakini sasa mkubwa mimi kidogo, mimi hivi sasa kakua malaika. Na wajua swala lile halileti maana yoyote pale. Umekukiiba ndugu, na mbuizi hujatuletea tawasifu inaonyesha kwamba wewe ulianza kuiba na hivi sasa kutokana na swala hili na lile ushakuwa malaika. Tuna mmoja tu katika dunia nzima aliyekamilika ambaye tulisema ni Yesu, si ndio? Sasa hii maneno mengine mimi siamini kwa swala kama hilo hata kidogo.
Before you give him, Bwana Derek, nataka nikuulize. You have a wife. You have not answered that question. You have a wife, and that wife tells you after you have raised those kids, Bwana Derek, do you know that this child is not your biological child? What will you do to that lady? There is no retaining.
And that is
dishonesty is not being rewarded.
And that is why Abdul, you should be at a position even to know when your wife gets pregnant. It's so unethical, very unethical. As a man, you are not even aware of the biological structures of your wife. Okay, it is normal. It's very normal that with the analogy of kugongewa, but before ugongewe hadi uzaliwe, you are failing as a man. Unajua, yes, umesema danganya lakini usipatikane. Ukaacha ukagongewa hadi sasa in fact you are a disgrace as a man. Now that is another thing, that we have to face things as they are. Some of these things ndio mwanamke hata amue sasa wacha azae kutoka nje. You might even find the problem is you. Be active, be functional, work as a man, and then you will have your own kids. Perhaps if you fail as that, Abdul, you will raise a lot of other men's kids, and you will be so much proud walking in the streets telling us, I have a kid. Who does it even resemble you? Even the air resembles another person.
On the same.
the first question that I asked Abdul, what is one thing that you feel you can't compromise in a relationship, regardless of the kind of relationship?
Mutual respect.
So respect, akikupatia respect, but
no, there's something nimesema. It's not respect, it's mutual respect. Yeah, you know me, you respect me. I know you, you respect me, because I am not dating myself here. Ni ukweli, sijidate. So if it's going to work, you bring something to the table, I bring something to the table. And so one of those things that I am never going to compromise is mutual respect.
But mutual respect inaka so broad, because hapo ndani bado tutaweka matters communication, bado tutaweka honesty.
No, okay, for me it's not honesty. I believe what my colleagues were talking about is something we call transparency. Because honesty is instantaneous. Let's say I took something from the store last week for an emergency, and I delayed. I did not tell you about it. I kept it hidden for 1 month, and then I just show up and tell you I did this or that. That is very questionable, because how many times have you done this? But transparency is whereby you do things in the open, you account for things in the open, and it's not as instantaneous as honesty. It's something long term, it's something that's already happening. So transparency, not honesty.
Okay.
And if I can say something, I want to disagree to some points on the point she has laid. You will tell me, and we'll all agree, that everyone will tell you something, or you will tell me something, because at that particular time you feel it is so essential for you to tell me that thing. And it is only you who know you are honest or not. You know that. So the aspect of saying, I don't think at this particular point of time, the aspect of transparency, because when you started, I was not there. You didn't inform me. So tell me where transparency comes in. Now, tell me where honesty comes in when you tell me that this thing has been happening this way. It's only that you didn't know. I only feel that the only thing that happens each day is that everyone says what he or she feels that is convenient, or is serving the purpose of that conversation at that particular point of time. Perhaps if it was not by that, some of these things, they could not just be said at all cost.
Mr. Chair, that is why I talked about transparency. It's not about what you're telling me. It's about what I can actually see. So-and-so claims to love color pink, but she never dresses in pink. She's always in red. Transparency is something that you can actually see. It's like you can actually experience it. This girl tells you she has a curfew by 7, 9 ndio anawapostia zimeshika sijui wapi, and it's every day. It's not only about what you say, it's not only about what you do, it's about what you do and say. It's a lifestyle.
But Sheba, I can respect you too much to decide not to tell you something.
No, that is not respect.
It is.
That is fear.
No.
It's fear.
I might decide not to be transparent with you kwa sababu siwezi kuja kukwambia that during this particular time I am going through this and this and that, because on your end pia labda you are going through something. So naona ni kama I'll be burdening you by giving you these problems zenye na go through. And it's not that I choose not to tell you kwa sababu ati I don't respect you, but I respect you too much not to involve you in the troubles that I am going through kwa sababu wewe pia uko na stuff that you are going through. So isn't that respect?
No, it's only fair if, see, you respect me, so you won't tell me about your troubles, right? So I won't tell you about my troubles also. Tukuja kwa nyumba to check it, good vibes, and inshallah, kila mtu na shida zake. Now that is what we call mutual respect. Because we've decided we're not telling each other things, si baki tu hivyo. You don't tell me, I don't tell you. That's why nakwambia, now that one, it's not even fear. It's, why are you not able to tell me your problems? Is it because I have my own problems? Now I can't handle your issues. Now, there's a question umeuliza, what do women want? Number one, that is a very, very, very wrong question. It is a very wrong question. Because women, who are you dating? Women or Sheba? Who are you dating? Mimi, I am not women. I am Sheba. So if you want to know what your woman wants, first know your woman. Who is your woman? What does she want? What does she value? What does she... Who is she? Who is Sheba? Not who is women. I am not women.
But Sheba,
yes,
it's not a guarantee that all relationships work.
True.
Especially, let's talk about romantic relationship, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a guarantee that that particular relationship works, because if it gets to a point where una feel ni kama unakuwa drained into, you're drained ama unakuwa dragged behind from becoming a better version of yourself, that is when you call things quits. Is that true? So if I say that I'm supposed to learn from each and every relationship that I am in, so that in the long run nipate that particular person mwenye atanisaidia, atakuwa a guiding step to the kind of version of myself that I want to be, is that a bad thing? Is that a bad way of looking at relationships? Because it's not a guarantee that every relationship works. So if I'm going to view it as nachukua this duration to learn about this particular person, I think that is the essence of dating. To learn this particular person, to know that these are the things that they can compromise, these are the things that they can't, these are the things that I can compromise, and these are the things that I can't. That means I'm looking at it as a guiding step, like ni kama table of contents. Naangalia ndo nione enye, these are the points zenye nafaa ku work on, these are the points that I'm supposed to work on. But if kwa sababu daily in the relationships tunaendelea kulearn, si ndio? There are things that we learn, there are things that we unlearn, there are things that we relearn. So by me not giving you a certain response to something, or disclose everything in that particular relationship, why would you look at it as not part of mutual respect?
Mm-hmm. So in simple terms, Ebu sasa rephrase your question. Simple terms.
My question is, you said that mutual respect should look like, kama tume decide not disclosing a certain level of information, sisi wote tusi disclose, and that is what mutual respect looks like. But okay, let me give you an analogy or an example. Do you think that it is right for a husband to come home na ambie the wife that he's broke? Not even the wife, that they're dating, they're in the dating phase. Do you feel like I'm supposed to be financially open to you?
Now we are having a conversation with you, Ivan. You're the one who's telling me you're broke, right? And then you don't tell me, so usiku I am coming, oh baby, I saw this and this, it's Dior, it's whatever brand, I want this. And then you're like, it's fine. Ivan, where are you going to get me what I want? You have to communicate. Tell me, Sheba, relax. Things are not good at work. You have to bear with me. If she is the right kind of person, she will listen and she will help you with that situation. Wrong people are the kind, you see, most of the times, the reason why people don't open up about their troubles is because they fear maybe being dismissed, they fear being gaslighted, manipulated, all those kinds of things, which is why something like cutting off, something like conflict resolution requires a high level of emotional intelligence. You might be having 10,000 certificates, PhDs, name it, whatever, awards, everything. But if you're lacking emotional intelligence in your life, you can you might as well cancel all social ties, all social connection. Yani nothing will ever work for you socially. And so having brains and actually having the brain to navigate social situations is very different, because someone might be pretty dumb, but when it comes to handling people, sijui kama you have those friends, class hakuna kitu anaona, and I am not trying to, no offense to anyone, but this is someone who can actually stand and he'll be having crowds following him. Ni mtu circle yake is very big, and you wonder how does this person convince all these people? How do they navigate these situations? It's because they have something we call emotional intelligence, and it is very essential in our today life. And emotional intelligence is not only about knowing how to handle people, it's also about knowing how to handle yourself in uncomfortable social situations. Kujua this and this is going to make me very angry, very pissed, this one and this one doesn't sit well with me. How do I handle this situation? Because it's not at every point that you are going to vuruta na shati na watu.
All right. A bit. Okay, let me dodge into relationships, the current relationships. Before anyone dodges into relationships, as I said, I'm talking as a mental health podcast. According to psychological autonomy, we have 3 stages of relationship. That is stage 1, stage 2, and the last stage, stage 3. The stage 1 is when love is very ile kuita sasa kupakana mafuta kwenye mgongo, sijui baby you're my world nini. That's the first stage. Everything is being shown up there. A lady can promise even you the world. You are my world. You are there. You're my world too. A full reply. Second stage is where fights erupt, quarrels, insecurities and everything. This is where the true people, the individuals who are true to each other, sustain in that particular stage. What part of that? In many relationships, that's where relationship break. You have insecurity problems. You being insecure. You need validation in every way. If you don't trust your partner, that your partner shall tells you, okay, I tell Sheba, I'll be going for a event in Njoro and telling this and this and this. If Sheba don't trust me, Sheba will say, I shall validate photos and videos that I'll be going for that particular event in Njoro. Then there is this person who is an nonchalant man or an nonchalant lady. This is where relationship, before you don't even into the relationship, understand which person are you interacting with. Is that person being open to you? Is that person being nonchalant to you? Wapata like kuna ule hawezi explain, atakwambia we just think the way you want, na kuna ule atakuexplain ya maneno akwambie. There is the last stage we have is the when mmeshapita hiyo shida sasa. It's where you reach the promised land, Canaan sasa. As it said, ndo mfike hiyo Canaan, you must go through a lot of things, insecurity, shida zote. Like kama muamini mtu wako in any particular place ataenda, kuna some instances ni yeye atamake. That's what we call reciprocation. Mimi nikienda mahali, I'll tell Sheba, nitakuwa hapa, I'll be doing this. If you need validation, I'll tell you. Even when Sheba is going for an event that is far away from home, kaa tunaishi na yeye, Sheba should tell me, okay, Abdul, I'll be going for this particular event. Nikienda nitakuwa na nani? Ndio maana upata many ladies think that wanaume wanawachunga sana. That's not being aufatiliwi. That's a caring man. I'm talking about the marriages. Upata mwanamke ameambia mume wake, nimetoka, nimeenda coast. Boss ametuita event. Hapo sasa ndio autonomy ya kugongewa inatokea. As said by Bwana Chair. Autonomy ya kugongewa tokea hapo. You are the man. A lady doesn't tell you, nimeenda Mombasa, nimeenda kazini. Kufanya nini? Kazini, weekend, on a weekend. You remember Diani?
Inaweza kuwa
You
ni
remember
kazi.
Diani? So you remember Diani incident?
Inaweza
How
kuwa ni
many
kazi.
relationship broke? Even relationship gaps ziliharibika.
No, inaweza kuwa nimeenda Diani cause of work. But sikudanganya, nimeenda Diani cause of work. But then something may happen. So that bado okay, I'm still not convinced with the argument yenye Sheba alikuwa ametoa, of which ata respond to when she gets the opportunity. But I still feel like concealing a certain amount of information from someone can be termed as respect. Cause the moment, okay, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine alikuwa ananiambia the reason as to why ata cut off partner wake ama atatoka kwa hiyo relationship is because let's say the partner amecheat. The reason as to why atatoka in that relationship is not cause huyu mtu amecheat, is cause this particular person is really dumb to the point of mimi kufind out. Wewe fanya mambo yako but nisijue, cause what you don't know doesn't hurt you. And if I decide to conceal that information from you, but I respect you enough to maybe use protection wakati nimeenda kucheat. I respect you enough if we are in a business setting, nimesema wacha usijue, wacha usiangalie hizi finances ndo ujue that maybe kuna mali imeenda off. I respect you enough to not tell you that isiku fulani hii na hii ili happen kwa ofisi, and yeah, I respect the boss way too much to conceal some type of information from him. I think that is what respect looks like from my end. Sheba atatuambia. But on matters just a response to what ulikuwa unasema Abdul, I might be honest, nimekwambia ukweli kabisa that well, best yangu fulani hafeel vizuri na nimeenda kumuona. I'm being honest with you. But kitu may happen that maybe alikuwa very vulnerable at that particular point, and it started as just consoling that particular person. Na kitu ika happen. Na inaweza kuwa hakukuwa okay mentally. Na ameniambia, need to talk to someone nini. Nimeenda, nimekaa na yeye, nimemwongelesha, but in the heat of the moment akakuwa very very vulnerable to the point of kitu ika happen. Yes. So sikumdanganya, nimeenda tu, that was the initial intention. So am I supposed to respect this partner of mine to the extent of mimi kumwambia whatever happened?
Respect, but alivunja trust. That's the issue.
So in order for mimi nisivunje trust, kwa hivyo asijue, right?
Okay. So what you're not considering here is that now eventually if I discover, it's better ukuja uniambie, nikujamie siku 3, nikupige silent treatment, and then I come later and I'm like, you know what, don't do that again. If I find out, akia nani mimi sitakwambia. That is at the point where you just come. If you're coming to the house, kuja uongeleshe viti. Come stay in your house, cook for yourself, tupatane mbinguni. Amen? So, what I am talking about here, there's something you've said, vulnerability. You don't place yourself in a compromising situation to be vulnerable. That is very dumb. Oh, tulikuwa tu tumeenda, I just took 2 shots. Na unajua you can't handle such. Now you're placing yourself in a compromising situation, ndo ukuje kuniambia how vulnerable you are. I will not be listening to that conversation.
Okay, look at it this way, Sheba. Say if your partner calls you, because you're on air, chances are that you won't pick up that call.
Very.
And ako in a very vulnerable state. Maybe I may receive a devastating information or a devastating news, and he is not okay. He's not okay emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean, okay, if atapata another person to talk to,
mm-hmm.
and anahitaji help as soon as possible, and he gets vulnerable, and amejipata, hajajiweka, but amejipata in a compromising situation, bearing in mind that hayuko sawa emotionally.
So this help,
would you blame him?
This help, what kind of help are we talking about?
He needs to talk to someone.
He needs to talk to someone. Then inafikia aje inakuja kwa sexual tension?
Cause situation imejipata. It can be something.
Umejipata in a situation. You see, this is where now.
Aliniambia it's okay.
It's okay.
Akanihaga hapa na pale. Then something went down.
Now this is where emotional intelligence comes up again.
You
know very well. You know yourself. Unless you tell me you don't know who you are. I know if I am Sheba, if I don't eat before the show, hakuna kitu nakuja kusema ya maana hapa. So I will look for food before it gets bad. I know if I become vulnerable, any form of affection is a confusing message.
But I don't think that is how the brain works. At that particular point, I wouldn't know what is good and what is bad for me.
Now that is a choice. You choose not to know what is good or bad. Yes, you are unstable emotionally, you are unstable mentally, but I believe there are certain things, as Shah said, are called common sense. Common sense. You don't wake up, you're devastated, and go to a bar to drink out your sorrows. Chances are it's going to be very bad for you. You don't wake up, you've disagreed with your bae, and you're going flirting around with another girl. Chances are it will go very bad for you. So first you need to know, this and this is what has happened. How do I handle this situation? And if you use that one as an excuse for vulnerability, how many times will you get emotionally unstable and become vulnerable? How many times, Ivan?
Even before you you answer that, there is something I want to say. There is something I'm not understanding in one way or the other. Do really men get vulnerable? Because at what point? Because one thing I know is that there is some things a man must be bold over the same. Because kuniambia kwamba mtu amekosa kukuongelesha eti unaenda kunywa pombe, unaenda kufanya nini? Wewe ni mwanaume wa wapi bana? Mimi kila ambacho nakisema ni kwamba nataka kukubaliana na lile ambalo ulianza kulisema hapo mwanzo, kwamba kuna yale maswala ambayo ili mahusiano yaende sambamba sharti uyaeke mbali na mahusiano. Kuna vile vitu ambavyo hauhitaji kuvisema, ije jua ije mvua.
Just pause hapo kidogo to Derek. Sheba, do you agree with that statement? Now just a simple yes or no before Derek endelee. No. Okay, so Derek, continue.
Mimi, and I want to tell you, Ivan, if you want to maintain even friendships, let every friend of yours know a different version of you. I will tell you one thing for a fact. Abdul is my friend. Sheba is my friend. If Abdul and Sheba meet to everyone to describe who is me, everyone will be telling each other a very different version of me, because my engagement with Abdul is not the same engagement with Sheba. Therefore, there is some things I will say to Abdul I will never say to Sheba. Now, look at this scenario. You cannot tell me at any point of time that you want to open your and even, let me tell you, there is a big mistake we are committing even in our relationships. You want to be so honest and transparent, as Sheba said, until you want to explain every minute the way you spend it in the office. That person you are telling is not going to take everything as a positive thing. There is always that one single part that will rule out everything, and that is hapo sasa ndio utasikia kwa hivyo hayo ndio mnafanya afisini. Sasa ukisikia swali hilo wajua pale umekusha choma, na siku nyingine sasa hata ukijaribu kueleza ukweli itaonekana kwamba wajaribu kufanya nini, kufunika lile swala ambalo ulikusha lisema hapo awali. Sasa maswala kama yale, na mimi nikasema wewe hapana peleka shida zako za kiafisi, za kikazi mradhi, ama kivyo vyote vile umepatana na mtu, wewe zungumza yale ambayo yamewaleta pamoja. Wachana na mambo ambayo hayahusiani na lile ambalo mnalizungumzia. Iwapo mnazungumzia mahusiano, wachana na mambo ya pesa bwana. Iwapo unazungumzia mahusiano, wachana na mambo ya kazi, hayo hayamuhusu. Sasa wewe wakuja kutueleza kuhusu unayefanya naye kazi pale afisini, kila ambacho alikufanyia, sijua alikakuangalia vipi, sijua akusumbua. Siku nyingine ukichelewa kuja nyumbani, basi mimi nitajua kwamba labda yule aliyekuwa na kusumbua wakati ule ndio wewe umeanza kumpa muda. Na mimi sitaelewa kwamba labda ulikuwa na kazi nyingi. Kwa hivyo ni vema tuelewe kila ambacho tunafaa kukisema wapi, sangapi na kwa nani, ndio hata haya mahusiano yaweze kuenda kwa njia ambayo inafaa.
Ellie.
Yes.
Umesikia unafaa kuwa transparent.
Kwa nani?
Unafaa kuwa transparent.
Kwa nani?
Chatu sichana. Ulikuwa unasema ile.
Siezi. Okay. Mimi nikiangalia kwa upande kwangu relationship kidogo ni tricky sana kuzungumzia. That's why nimewape kwanza muda muweze kuzungumza. But mimi ningependa labda niangalie topic of the day na mada yetu siku leo in another dimension kuhusu mambo na familia, because I believe kwamba mahusiano, ukimpenda mtu alafu ufike mahali ya kubo umkatof, haiwezi hit different kama wakati ambapo mamako umeweza kukosana naye alafu ukamkatof, right? Kuna ile bond ile kwa sababu ya damu. So hata tukizungumza kuhusu mahusiano Ivan, hebu niambie, umekatof Derek, itakuhit different kama vile unaweza katof your father?
Hapana.
Haiwezi. So hapa kwa familia, labda niulize tu Derek pale, do you feel kwamba tukizungumzia kuhusu mambo na cut off my mom, cut off my brother, my sister, do you think mimi mwenyewe kama Ellie situations zikiweza kuniallow, because I believe sometimes unaweza kuwa labda hawanipay peace of mind, nimeingia pale wamenikoroga, wamenipressure. Like the other day kuna time nimepigia mom simu akaniambia, "Hey, nukumbuke unazeeka." Hiyo ni kunionyesha unafaa ufanye kitu, right? Yeah, exactly. So una feel kuna ka pressure fulani, hadi nowadays nimereduce communication lakini sijamcut off. Disclaimer kidogo. So unapata kuna ile like, okay, sitaki kumpigia kila siku ndo asinikumbushe kitu kama kile, because mimi niko focused sana na kazi, alafu nahitaji vitu fulani ziweze kusettle. Then you know kwamba nikishamleta yule kwangu kwenye mahusiano, mamangu hatutakaa naye. Yeye atakuwa kwake na mimi ni kwangu huko. So kikiweza kudimania, yeye atakuwa na shida. So Derek, do you think is right someone who cut off parents, brother, sister ama auntie wakati ambapo kumekuwa na misunderstanding, tukiondoa factors za kuweza kusolve, kuna zile ambazo ni unsolvable, unafeel hapa IZ?
There is two types of family, or these sets of a family. We have the nuclear family and the extended family. I'll tell you for sure, it is so easy and so effective. An extended family, you can easily cut a person off and you are still okay with it. For example, aunties, cousins, and there is some of the cousins who are very funny, who will always see that you are one of the famous quotes I love is that you sit in the table where you are respected. So in an extended family, you can imagine of a scenario of you having an aunt who is always abusive of you, who is not in support of anything, who is not seeing any value in you, who is you have to let go. For instance, of extended family is so easy. For your greater good. Perhaps these people will finally come to you when you are successful. So you don't have to worry about them when you are down, because they don't see a value in you. You just move on. Give them space. Let them move. Give them a circle. Let there be a distance between you and them. And then when you are done, when you are good, these people will just come by the default. They will come to you. So you don't have to worry about. But now, when it comes to a father, when it comes to a mother, is a different thing. Because these are people who sometimes have shaped your life. So when we talk about, we fathers, I'm a man, yes. And for the record, I might be a father. Now, one thing you should be knowing is that a parent, more so a mother, is someone I term as your heart. Okay, in some scenarios, it intends that there might be a division between you and your parents for some few reasons. But for a parent, if that parent of yours is alive, if there is a small gap of reconciliation, consider that gap with all your energy. Because your father, your mother describes your home. That is your identity. And where is home? A home is where the heart is. Now, yeah, of course, in some scenarios, there is this unavoidables. Now that is now where I'm coming to. Unavoidables. A father raped a daughter. That is not even a father. That is someone who is supposed to be in jail. That's someone who should be even skinned alive. Because your daughter, your blood, your DNA, you are raping.
But Derek,
that is, those are some of the unavoidable circumstances. Now, in case, for example, of a mother, there is a scenario. I have witnessed a scenario whereby kwamba mama amepata mchumba, yeye kaenda pale na mtoto wake. Lakini sasa yule mchumba akamwambia, mimi iwapo unataka tuendelee kuishi na wewe kijana huyu au msichana huyu, mimi simtaki. Waona vile? Mimi simtaki. Iwapo unataka tuendelee, kachukue mtoto huyu kamrejeshe kwa baba, au mchukue huyu, sasa mimi sijui utampeleka wapi. Unapata kwamba yule mama hakutaki. Yeah, there is those violence, you see violence, you see abuses. The best thing I will say is that seek the relevant help. Don't stick on just because he or she is your parent and yet you see yourself in the tunnel of death. Because tell me the reason as to why utasema huyu ni babangu, kwa hivyo siwezi fanya hili, siwezi enda beyond the societal norm kwamba niachane naye, niende nikamripoti, niende nikafanya nini. And yet huyu mtu anakurep, huyu mtu anakuumiza, anakupiga, anakuchapa akitumia panga, anafanya nini? Akuoni kama mtotoe. Sasa wewe pale utakuwa unajiumiza badala ya kusaidika.
But most of the time wakati tuna cut off family members ama any other person, wakati unam cut off, there's this tendency that this particular person can become successful or more successful than you are. So let's take an example of huyu family member, the aunt, the uncle, when umesema tu ni rahisi kuwa cut off. Cut off and God forbid something happens to those who are close to you, maybe your parents ama your closer siblings. And huyo mwenye ulimcut off, you made it clear to them that kweli kuna ile kucut off yenye mtu ajui. And umecut off mtu but mara moja atakupigia simu ulenge, but kuna ile time atakuwa persistent, then ushike tu mwambie nilikuwa busy nini, sema tu kulikuwa nataka like that. So kama ilikuwa widely known that cut off this particular person, this particular auntie, this particular uncle of yours, cut off, and something bad happens, again, God forbid, something bad happens to your family, your close family, and you have no other option than to turn back to them. Is it that easy kushukisha ego, kurudi kwao, because they're still part of your family and probably they are the ones wenye utategemea after such an incident may happen? So in hindsight, ukiangalia that particular situation, that particular scenario, would you regret cutting them off, and yet there was probably better options of resolving that particular issue?
Ivan, I want to start by making it clear that cutting off is not ego. It is self-respect. Number two, in my response, the first response, I remember saying, these people, you just give them space. Because a family, you cannot run away from the family. It is your place. It is your identity. You cannot run away from your identity. You see that? The only thing you do is give them space. And that is why I want to just get to what the honorable member said, that, you know, you just give them a silent treatment. Me, I believe in the power of silence. You don't get to be who I presume you should be. I just go silent. Simple. We don't talk. And you know, it is only conversation that strengthen ties. So if you just go silent, you don't talk to that aunt of yours, you don't. When a problem comes, it is just easy. We have not been speaking, now we are speaking. It's just simple as that. You see, it's only that at that particular point, maybe if you are speaking, it's once for a lifetime. But at this particular, we have a problem. Come, we are family. I'm giving you an example. An example of our family. In our family, if at all people have disagreed for a long time, we are normally brought together or united by problems. So someone is in a problem and you will be like, so someone is sick, someone died, someone this and this happened, there is a problem, there is a student who is supposed to go to school. Everyone comes on board. You are a family. We don't care about your differences. Now, the gap that was between you is now bridged, you know, because there is something that is bringing, and that is how families survive. Because you will realize that in most families, most of the time, people differ ideologically, differ objectively, and such kind of things. So, in such a scenario, you know, you just keep your distance, so that and that is why I said the best way of treating family members who you feel they are not aligning with you is just you give them a silent treatment, a very nice one, once for a lifetime. And then when they will get back, they will realize, oh, this guy was of importance to this point. Maybe next time we will need him, and therefore we should not be doing this. And when that happens, even, and let me tell you something, even someone disrespects you because you have allowed that person to disrespect you. Someone can abuse you because you have allowed that person to abuse you. Everyone knows how the society, the family perceives him. For instance, you go to my family and they will tell you, Derek is a no-nonsense guy. So if you cross this boundary, you are automatically not going to be in good books with him. You see that? So every family, including the aunts and the uncles and whatever, they will know, if you want to be okay with Derek, you have to be straight with him. You know that? So if that is said straight with the family, then you are good to go. You see that? But in any case, that is not the case. Then, if a person doesn't align with that, just a silent treatment. And when a problem comes, you're back as a family and you're moving on very well. And a problem comes, silent treatment. Just like that. That is all.
Okay, Bwana Derek, you talked about the negativity. Yeah, there are some parents in these African communities, not even Kenya, African community. We as Africa, yeah, kuna wazazi ambao ni watovu. Hawajali watoto wao, hawajali uwepo na kuendelea kwa watoto wao. I know of a parent. I won't mention the name live on radio because I know a parent who beats the child ruthlessly, who is a drunkard man, who is a careless man. But in as much as we have people who are bad, as the Swahili say goes, that mui huwa mwema. They are good people in bad people autonomy. In the bad people autonomy we use in Africa as African communities. Let me give an example. There is a comrade, a student who went to campus, got into mess, was totally traumatized. He had money. He had a side hustle form of kama vile sisi wote ni comrade ama namna gani wenzangu. As much as you are comrade, kuna hilo kuna side hustle yako kujiweka busy. Not every time you'll make a call. There is a person whom when he's in trouble, he'll call his friend. Oh bro, I'm in trouble. I need money. There is a person who needs money. He'll call, daddy, upkeep imeisha. Those are two different people. I'm talking of a person alienda campus. Kwenda campus, maisha ilikuwa sawa mwaka wa kwanza wa pili. Mwaka wa tatu akapata shida, pesa, kufilisika, kuibiwa. A friend didn't help him. A family member didn't help him. But a father stood for that person. I'm talking of two different scenarios. A bad parent and a good parent. In as much as we say we have bad parents in the African communities, we also have good parents. Because it said, mla nawe hafi nawe ila mzaliwa nawe. Mtu ambaye uko na yeye. Kuna ule rafiki ambaye atakuwa na wewe wakati wa mazuri. Na kuna ule rafiki wakati wa shida ndio utajua ukweli wako. I saw back there 2 years ago, I was very, very ill, critically ill. I said, let me know who is my friend. Few turned up. That's when I used the cut-off autonomy, because I knew who will stand by me is that one real friend, and the only man in this world who wants developmental issues for you is your biological father, unless the father is out of sense. Because someone who gives birth to you, someone whose sperms let me use that, came out of this world for you, he made you come to this world. Your mother carried you in your womb. There is I saw an autonomy that a man was to be taken in court. But I won't mention the tribe, because we were told not to be affiliated in any sorts of, that will be the disregard, because many people are listening to us. There is that person alipelekwa kotini, and then still the man is a criminal, right? But still the maternal love for the mother is still on. Waweza pata mama anajua kijana yake ni mkora, lakini mama anapenda kijana bado. Uongo kweli? Hakuna mzazi ambaye apendi mtoto wake. Hiyo ndio kitu kweli. Sai, make a call. Even just make a call and say, I have this and this, and niambie if that parent of yours atakana amani. In few days time, as comrades, we'll having closure of portal due to fee issues. There are a number of parents who are in total stress right now as we speak. Because, bro, from 18th of today is on 18th, right? 19th. From 19th of today to 29th, that is 10 days. There's a parent that anaenda kutafuta fee chini ya siku 10. Vile ambavyo vidole vyetu havitoshani, familia zetu hazitoshani. Kuna ule ametoka, there is that son of a peasant, there is that person who could even ask for 50,000 right now, and he will get into his M-Pesa account. And there is that person who will ask the parent 300 shilling, and that parent will not be able to send, not because that the parent that is selfish or not, the capability. In as much parents are dying for us. I know many parents, be the Somali community, be the all African community and Kenyan communities, parents always worry about the well-being of our kids. So, in as much as we disregard bad parents' autonomy, we have good parents, a very big number. Haswa mama zetu. Even Islamically, it says, paradise lies under the feet of your mothers. Even biblically, if you consider a problem you have, consider meetings za shule. Who turned up in big numbers? Our mothers. Your graduation. The other time, there was the graduation of students in Egypt University. Big percentage was our mothers. Our mothers are the most respected people in the African communities. Yeah. Parents, fathers there are families who are raised by single fathers, but if you take into a scenario, even our president, William Ruto, he was raised by his mother. Mothers have led very able leadership. Edwin Sifuna, Lee Kinyanjui, if they give you their autonomy and background, mama zetu.
But Abdul, that doesn't mean that I can't cut them off if imefika a point where my parents are being toxic to me. There are some decisions that my parents are not supposed to make on my behalf. Awafai waniambie, this is the person who you're going to marry. you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to send me this amount of money just because you're being paid this amount.
Yeah.
So when it gets to a point wakati na feel my parents are being toxic to me, aren't I allowed to cut them off? Sijakata the kind of sacrifices that they've made and everything, but if it gets to a point where na feel being in the same environment with my parents is toxic to the kind of person that I want to be, aren't I allowed to cut them off?
Okay, if that parent of yours being toxic by numerous ways, that's being that, let me say, I'll use an example of a drunkard person who want to chase, as my chair said, who want to chase the child with a panga or a machete because of out of the autonomy. That man is drunkard. That child is not even supposed to be living near close that man.
No, it
and
can't
even
be
and even your autonomy of your parent being toxic to you, but don't be bad to them. Just walk away silently, as my esteemed chair said. If that man who is your father does not being supportive of you, he's not even responsible of yourself, don't be mean to him, don't argue with him, don't fight, just walk out silently. He'll one day see that enyewe nilimkosea Ivan. Yeah, you are allowed to cut him off, but not engage in quarrel that we are not allowed to disrespect our parents. Mtu akikukosea, as Derek said, is that the silent treatment will give the person a lot of question into mind. Okay, nilimkosea nini Derek? Atajiambia mzazi. Wetu wakorofishana pale family. Family pia, kwa hii family ambayo iko na sister, brother, mama, kuna vita za kifamilia pale ndani ya nyumba pia. Mfano kama mimi, mfano niseme, mfano Derek is my father. I tell Derek, I need you to support my dream. Which dream of mine? Maybe I'm a footballer. Or maybe you go to school. You know, kwa hii maisha kila mtu afanani. Ivan. Kuna ule ambaye amebarikiwa talent of 40. As a parent, you should support your children. Yani kama mtu is not supportive of your dream, is being toxic, you are allowed just to cut off that person.
Kwa hivyo, if my parent is not supporting the kind of dream that I have, does that make them toxic?
No.
But
no,
again, that's nilikuwa nasema
there's capability, or Ivan, there is that capability. Kama hana hiyo uwezo ni sawa. Na kama pia mtu atake kukusupport, unamtokea tu pole because inakaa tu ni kama anakuona ubaya, anakuona, unajua kila mtu, kama we ni radio presenter pia uko na ambitious ya kitu, kufanya kitu kingine, si eti uko hapa peke yake. So kama mzazi ana uwezo, unajua there is that autonomy that parents they favor one child. Yeah, my child will agree with me. Kuna ile mzazi aizipenda, atapenda mtoto mmoja kupendelea kuliko mwingine. Wewe na uwezi argue na yeye, pigane na yeye, utamwacha tu ajionee mwenyewe. Na kama you said your parent being toxic to you, you don't need to sustain that man to be under the same roof. Utamtokea tu pole, he will see your progress one day automatically. Right.
Elly son of Njeri.
Yes.
Kwa salama?
Niko salama.
What is that one thing yenye una feel sahi mzazi akifanya tu hivi unamcut off?
Kwanza umeniita nani?
Elly son of Njeri.
Njeri, she's my mom. So me, I don't think kama kuna kitu ambacho anaweza fanya alafu ni mcut off.
At all.
Iwezekani.
Uko 100% sure?
Hey, tricky.
Sasa akikuja akwambie nataka uwe huyu. Huyu tumejina gani leo?
Chepto.
Huyu Chepto. Nataka uwe Chebet kwa sababu I feel like she's perfect for you.
Okay.
Na umejaribu kumweleza, umejaribu kumconvince, lakini haipati.
Nao ni noma. Mzazi wangu hawezi fanya vile. Namjua vizuri tena.
Unaweza mkato.
Hapo ni ngumu kidogo. But kwanza nitaconsider Chepto kwa aje, tabia zake ziko namna gani. Kama zitanifurahisha, sina budi. Ikikuwa mbaya kidogo, anamwambia chipi because yeye ndo aliniambia. Yeah. Sijui niulize nani swali, Cheba. Cheba niulize swali. Sheba. So unapatanga kwamba wasichana wengi na our moms kuna kuanga na ile jealousy ambayo inaingianga wakati ambapo mtu ako mdogo. Kuna video fulani nilikuwa naona Ivan. Okay, huyu ni mwanadada ako na katoto kadogo, alafu husband ako pale vimelala chini na katoto kamemlalia kwa kifua. So the wife ana feel hapana, ni mimi nafaa kuwa pale hivi nimelala kwa kile kifua. Katoto nako kana feel no, mimi ndo nafaa kuwa pale hivi kwenye kile kifua, mimi ndo nafaa kuwa karibu na dad. So unapata ni kama kuna ile jealous fulani ambayo inaingia kati ya mom na daughter, na most of time hata nikiuliza labda pale hivi Derek, utapata kwamba kwenye familia mom na daughters ama bro na daughters ama siblings wale wenyewe wasichana na wanaume kuna vile hawaelewani hata kidogo. But tukuje hapa kwa mom na daughter, you as a child ukiwa pale mdogo ama saizi, mshikuwa na mvutano kidogo na your mom na ukamcut off?
Cut off is a very strong word. Ni warudishe kwa the definition. Cut off ni unaachana, yani what do I talk about? Cut
so
off.
No
yani hakuna kuangalia nyuma.
Hakuna kuangalia nyuma.
Hiyo ndio cut off. I can't cut off my mom because anapewa more attention than me by my father. I mean, logically she came first and I came second. But that is a very weird thinking. But it happens. As a guy, I believe you should know how to balance your family. Time ya wifey ni time ya wifey, time ya Glenn ni time ya Glenn. So itabidi mmejua how you're staying in that house. Otherwise, kama ni mvrutano, it's something very simple. Hiyo hata tunacheka, tunaisha, tunalala kwa carpet and we still continue with life. Because ile ni ile kutania sasa. Na kutania tu.
Ina scenario hoya tushaisikia. Mama hajezeka, ameiva, nitumie ile wada. Pia wewe umeiva, uko sawa kabisa. Unapata mom uko na boyfriend yako, mnaenda pale nyumbani na kumbe kuna vile umekuwa ukifanya vitu zingine nyuma ya tent na your mom because bado hajazeka sana. Pale utahandle namna gani? Because mnashare same man na your mom. Ni kitu possible, tumekuwa tukiziona kwenye mtandao. And that's why unapata kuna wa mamas na kuna wa babas. So speaking of mamas, unaweza pata jamaa na date huyu mama ako na daughter na huyu daughter bado ako fine, kumaanisha pia anaweza kuwa interested kwake sana. So in that scenario unaweza handle namna gani?
Taking you back to mutual respect. I believe nilisema that for me mutual respect really matters. Now it's mutual respect and you're going behind me. You two, kwanza, it's now the two of you. You're just defiling my whole existence. Cut off.
Wow.
Now to that point you can cut off your mother.
Yes,
no.
Yes.
So there is a scenario that allows you to cut off your mother.
You see, hapo sasa, if my mother is doing these things, she's the one who has been teaching me values this, values that, this, behave that, and you're doing these things. Plus, I believe my mom would never. She's the one, if like mother, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Ni ukweli, if my mother is doing these things, chances are hata mimi ninafanya. So hapo sasa ni tuvumiliane because we've decided to become toxic, let's all be toxic. Otherwise, for in a real apart from all these hypothetical situations, you cannot be telling me my mom has been preaching about being clean, keeping yourself pure, and she's doing these things. It's completely unreasonable.
Skevle ni kumoto.
Nasikia.
Nimekuwa distracted na comment fulani hapo. Acha mimi nisisome, hebu tusome Elly.
Nisome zote au nisome ya mwisho kwanza?
Save the best for the last.
Yeah, Rafael anasema amazing deliberations, motion movers to the world. Vile Silas anasema Sheba usini cut off. Mark Motiso Peter anasema ambieni Sheba apigia mtu wake.
Hata before useme Sheba una feel Motiso amesema nini?
I honestly wouldn't know. You're the one at the screen.
Motiso ni nani?
Motiso? He's a friend. Yeah.
Mesikia Elly? He's just a friend.
No, he's not just a friend. Yeah, he's not just a friend.
Kuna kitu, acha tusiende deep sana.
Amesemaje Eli? Mutiso anasemaje?
Mutiso anasema ambieni Sheba apigie mtu wake, anaweka zile emoji za kucheka.
Sheba ni kama umeweka kwa spotlight.
Kudu umekatofu mtu wako.
Mutiso utaniacha sasa at this point. Let me be. You know it's funny, pigia mtu hata nisiendelee.
Yeah.
So my question, wacha nikuulize Eli.
Yeah.
Based by the discussion yenye tume have leo.
Yes.
Do you feel like it is effective to cut off people?
Yeah.
Kwa sababu during the debate, one very interesting point yenye nilisikia.
Yes.
Derek alikuwa anasema that but I know it was on sidhani, was it based on your personal opinion ama ilikuwa too just for the debate? No, like generally your speech ama kuna points zingine ilikuwa like yes this is what I believe in, but kuna zingine maybe ilikuwa for the debate peke yake ama everything was your personal, based on your personal opinion?
And that is why I say debates are for learning. And that is why we say unlearn to learn. Some of these things, maybe we are coming close to them for the first time.
Okay.
But all of them, they hold waters as far as I'm concerned. I don't see any problem with cutting. I don't regret cutting off because I can tell you for sure, silence is my weapon. And I can, if you meet some of the people who have been close to me for some time, they will tell you, you will just wake up tomorrow and Derek is not talking to you. And it's not just because you're not, but just because the objective at that point doesn't support our conversation. So every point I laid at this particular point of time, for example, when we talked about protection of mental health, empowerment of personal growth, promotion of accountability, time saving, culture shift as far as towards behavior and boundaries are concerned, I meant all of those.
Okay. So Eli,
yes,
kuna some very nice points zenye zilitolewa.
Yeah.
For example, kulikuwa na clash between mental health and which one would be best preferred.
Yeah.
Wakati Abdullah alitupatia option ya kuset boundaries, akatuambia kuset ni very important kuset boundaries as compared to kukat mtu off, which I saw zilikuwa very valuable points.
Yeah.
Ukisema ni very effective, inafaa ifike time gani ndo nione this is an option yenye nafaa kutake? At what point does it reach, ama nafaa kuvumilia mpaka wakati gani ndo nione imefika point ya kucut off this particular person?
Kulingana na mimi, I think mimi naweza kucut off hata na one day. Wallahi.
Wamekufanyia nini?
Communication yenyewe inaeleza zaidi. Tumekuwa tukizungumza na mimi nikaona kuna impact yote ambayo unadi kwa maisha yangu, ama pia kwa conversation na kuna idea ambayo kidogo labda ina pop inakuja kunisaidia kwangu, mimi nita cut off. Okay, unaweza kuwa umekuja kwangu kuniomba pesa, unaweza kuwa umekuja kwangu labda na attention nyingine pale, labda umeona nakaa vibaya, so umekuja kuniambia vile unanitaka, sijui utakuwa na competition ile. So hiyo nao na kucut off na first day. Actually ni text ya kwanza tu. Hiyo I think naenda mbali tunawe kabisa. So I think hakuna ile ati specific time naweza sema ati 1 year, 1 month ama 2 months. Itategemea pia.
So depend on the situation.
Ina depend na situation iko namna gani.
Over the same, Ivan, there is also some things you cannot even tolerate, even if it's for the first second of engagement.
Yeah.
When you cannot tell me that, for example, you met a girl, maybe she's pretty, or because we all go for pretty, or something of that sort, and then all of a sudden, regardless of whatever you saw, and then you are just relaxing with your piece, and then you see Saksa. Pure cut off. There is no reply of that. You go and find someone who will text like that. So it is, or someone who's Ivan, it is just a turn off. You just
Mark Mutiso Peter amesema tupigie my passwords. No.
Yeah.
Tupigie my password. Aya. 07.
Kwa serious?
Very serious.
Tumpigie na simu ya studio.
Mpigie. Either. Either.
Mark no ujibu simu.
We. Okay.
Inaanza kuumana tu sasa. Inaanza kuumana tu tuone kama
ako karibu. Umesema ako karibu.
Bili mletee maziwa before kufa hapa ndani. Unataka maziwa gani?
Nieke tu namba.
Bora ni maziwa I'll take it.
Namba. Nieke tu alafu utanisaidia tu.
Kwa hivyo kunaweza kuwa na potential cut off yenye tunaona live.
Yeah, sure. Mbaya sana. But your period wameenda for how long labda?
Babe, Sheba atatambia.
That is my personal life sasa.
So, Nicole.
Cool.
Uko serious?
Very serious.
Nice.
And maybe
Simon? Acha tumsikie kama atashika simu. Chenieke loudspeaker tumsikie.
And if you ask the name of a person and if he doesn't mention Sheba, what
Hello.
are we gonna do?
Hello? Huyo kwanza anasikiliza, ana stream. Ni aje mkuu?
Poa, niambie.
Uko fiti?
Mimi niko fresh.
Nimesikia sauti fulani hapo naijua. Ni yako Ivan? Nimesikia sauti fulani.
Umesikia?
Oh, una watch live?
Nilikuwa na watch live but nimepause ndio isi interrupt.
Oh, kuna mwanadada amezungumza. Umesikia vile amesema?
Oh,
Amesemaje?
Oh, amesema hapo sijui kuna boy anaitwa Mutiso. Amesema mpigie mtu wake.
Hebu awaambie yeye anaitwa nani? Awaambie yeye anaitwa nani?
Gina.
Yes.
Sasa mimi ndio Mark.
Wendo Mark.
Anyway, it was interesting. Niyo part when you mentioned kuhusu, I think, okay, what I can start with.
Yes.
Is that it's not that there's no perfect couple. And I literally knew she was alikuwa kwa show, so there's no way I'm going to call her. I mean, the reason I typed you, it was like I did not want it to be more hypothetical.
Yes.
Like real life situation, because you see, when you mlisema like, can it happen in real life that partner amejipata in a situation where they get sexually they get sexual with somebody else?
Yes.
And now it actually happened to me with my ex.
I'll show you sasa. Yes.
With the hypothetical part,
yeah.
I really think it is more of cheating is a choice. And because mine was even weird. You can imagine alikuwa may lose relative. And it sounds so weird that your person may lose relative and you have gone to her, and instead of consoling her, you're thinking about going to bed with her. Like, where has our humanity gone to? Yeah, so it is, in as much as I will need to speak to her, like I know, say maybe a kwa show, and I don't think I would call her even if it's an emergency.
Yeah.
And if I end up cheating, trust me, it's a choice, because even mad women wanakuanga na boduku. Ni wanaume sisi tu wale ndio tunalala nao. So about how effective is the cut-off culture, I think it really depends. If somebody does not understand their lens, you can cut them off. But if they understand their lens, you can continue being friends. Now, if you bring parents in the mix, it's totally different, because mzazi, blood is thicker than water. Hata afanye nini, there is that aspect too. Plus, now that we are born Christians, well, Abdul is, I think Abdul is Islamic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is I think kuna different dynamics when it comes to friendships, when it comes to family, it's just different. Well, yeah, you ndio unaweza tuguzia unless you guys had a question.
Ivan.
Mark, niko na one question.
Okay.
What is one thing enye huwezi compromise in which that particular thing can result to you cutting your person off?
Okay. The point nimefika say I think naweza sema maybe this aspect of double standards that we have in relationships. Such that I'm okay. I'll give you Mr. Ikutumia hypothetical. I'll actually give you something that happened. No, again to my ex, I know Sheba is okay and I shouldn't it's for the nini anyway. Sitaki tu kutumia ati for example.
Unaitumianga kila siku hii jina ama ni kwa leo tu because lazima unamhati vibaya sana.
Ako fresh.
Yeah, kwa sawa. Yes.
Well, my ex had this rule alikuwa anasema ati when I'm dating, when she's dating somebody, you can't contact your ex. So a few days later she goes ahead and contact ex wake, alafu nikamuuliza why are you doing that? Akaniambia ati I wanted to check up on them. Now easy double standards, they really don't work for me. Plus you see now double standards zikiwa it trickles down to a lot of things. If why should something apply to me and not to you? If like mko ujidate venye Sheba anasema tu ujidate, you are dating one another, and if we now stop thinking that relationships are competitions, we will be better. And saa zingine tunakubali not all relationships must work, but if you love somebody unafaa umwache better. So hata ukimcut off imaanishi ati ni nani mtu wake hapo sijui ni Chebet.
Ni mtu wa Ivan.
Ni mtu wa Ivan.
Yeah.
So say Ivan is an amazing singer and maybe atane na Jepto. So nataka kuniambia in future Jepto akisikia kuna gig mali asiite Ivan, because come on, we are all fighting against poverty. So in as much as you are cutting off people, nime deviate, but I think Ivan, mine is just double standards. I hate that so much, and I just feel disrespected, because if I respect your opinion, you're supposed to respect mine, and we come together, decide on something, it's supposed to apply to both of us.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Okay.
We appreciate your feedback and your comment. Na tukisikia tuko na mafans huko nje pia tunaenjoy by the fact that you've been listening in for quite some time. From your feedback, it means a lot.
Okay, it's awesome manze. Big up new wote manze.
Asante sana.
Thank you. Any last one message? Kuna kitu unataka kuambia mtu wako, something yenye hujai sema?
Kwanza umemruhusu leo asirudi, kumekuwa late sana.
Bedhe kumechelewa na tuna care a lot about safety yake.
Yeah.
Well, namuona hapa, unajua labda kuna tracker. No, I'm kidding.
So maybe one thing yenye ungependa kumwambia yenye probably hujai mwambia?
Ati Ivan umesema?
Maybe one thing yenye unaweza taka kuambia Sheba, probably something that you've never told her.
Something that what have I never told her? Well, she's killing it. Hapo mimi sijui, next time lete another lady bwana. Hata mimi na feel sahi niko against her. Sasa next time lete another lady for that support. But anyway, Sheba, you did great, so amazing, and all things with like you guys were great. Ni ngumu tu siwezi mbika peke yake, but anyway, Sheba, I love you so much, and you totally killed them. I was say, if they don't give you, ni maana hapo kuna medal, so isipokupea number ones, waambie najua kwao.
Thank you so much.
Oh, nice.
And by the way, nimeadmire sana your relationship. You know, mimi mtu kunipigia simu ama apige simu aniambie ati nimwambie kitu kizuri, mtu wa kwangu kwa studio mahali ambapo unajua watu wengi wanasikiliza. Ama umekubali kwa sababu sauti tu ndio ikoonea?
si story na sauti on I mean it's literally see I'm sure hii live bado itakuwa like record like itatokea baadaye, si ndio?
Yes, document.
Yeah, so a lot of people listen, and like I said, it's about the experience. Me as I like I said, we're not a perfect couple. Like kuna ups and downs.
Asante.
There's all that.
Asante.
Na okay.
Asante, thank you. Hadi nimesweat kwa mkono.
The last time uliambia unapenda ile nilini.
Relationship ndio imetuma ni sweat saa hizi bro.
Cut off au wote.
Kuguza simu mapenzi. Yeah, okay. By the way, nimependa kitu kimoja. Wakati ambapo kuna partner ambaye anakusupport. Uko mahali, ako pale live. Lazima stream ndo asikie unasema nini. Manze napenda hiyo. The last time nilikuwa kwenye mahusiano, nilikuwa nakuja kwenye radio nasema okay, mtu amepiga simu, baby girl amepiga simu, anambia hello my darling. Anambia okay, kwa hivyo na hivi. So nikirudi kwa nyumba naulizwa okay, rudi kwa hiyo darling wako mwenye ulikuwa unaita kwa radio. Go enda. So I'm like yo manzi, dile tu kuwa na uhusiano mzuri na wasikilizaji. But iko sawa kabisa. Iko sawa. Kuna mtu amefeel vibaya labda kwa ile room cause nilisikia kuna
nilisikia kuna mtu ameenda kwa dirisha pale. Sitamtaja jina.
Amekunywa maji.
Amesikia vibaya. Sheba, kuna mtu huko umeambia uko in a relationship. Kuna mtu on the other side anaumia.
Amekuja kujua reason unamcut off sana siku hizi. Okay.
Lakini tumeona kweli maybe cut off culture ni very effective.
Yes, sana.
Kwa kama haingekuwa inamaanisha Mark hangekuwa na ile uoga. Hangekuwa na ile uoga ati si unajua wacha tu nishike hii simu kwa sababu nothing will happen. I think by the fact that anajua anything can happen na relationship inaweza isha. Inamfanya akuwe very diligent in everything anafanya. So kama hii cut off culture haingekuwa unafikiria angeshika simu?
Angeshika hata kidogo. Yes.
There's a lot of things zenye tumelearn leo. Na leo pia naona ni one of those days wakati tutakuja kupigwa huko. Umeona time? Tutakuja kupigwa. Tutakuja kupigwa. Sijui kama tutatoa last words before wakuja waseme kuna director aseme hii show imeishia hapo. Oh, by the way, ni saa 2.
Naona ni saa 2. Naangalia. But sijui labda tukimalizia tutawaita pia kuja tuambie about the award.
Kwa sababu kumbuka last week kuna ile promise walitumikia. Kuna ile promise walitumikia.
Yes.
And ni kama walideliver
vizuri.
Tunaacha tuambia.
Manze,
Tunaacha tuambia.
Yes.
So ningependa tu kusikia maybe one person voluntarily atuambie in 30 seconds. Last take. Just a last take in 30 seconds.
Thank you so much, Ivan. In 30 seconds, I want to summarize the entire conversation by saying you are you and you will never have someone like you. And therefore, anything that you feel doesn't go with you is not for you. And therefore, every time, every moment, regardless of the situation, regardless of who is who, you prioritize you. It doesn't matter what it takes.
Thank you so much Derek. And last week Kasi Kebati na mbona nasahau jina lake, Ellie nikumbushe.
She's something
Musita and the lady.
So ito she ama nani? Sheila.
Wali make a promise wakasema tuharakishe tu show iishe kwa sababu wanaenda kuprepare kurudi na trophy.
Sure.
Na naona trophy lakini vile naiona ni kama walibrand hapa nje. Ni kama wanaenda kubrand pale ni kama walibrand huko.
Really?
Derek, mmetoa wapi trophy? Supermarket?
Asante sana bwana Ivan.
Mlinunua?
Nikiangalia naona una macho. Na wakati wote tunasema kwamba aliye na macho ambiwe tizama. Kikombe hiki au tuzo hili unayoiona hapa, it is branded. And ukiangalia hapa utaona kwamba imeandikwa Fikisa Opens Debate Championship. This championship tournament happened at Kisii University. That was on last Saturday. We were there, and we not only won this trophy. This was for the debate championship. There was another for public speaking. We also won it. It's only that we didn't got it here. Out of the teams we had, we managed to have 4 teams to finals. We managed to have 3 public speakers to finals, and all of them received medals. So we managed to have a total of 15 medals and 2 trophies from Fikisa tournament that happened at Kisii University. With me here, you will see 2 for the best debater, debating speaker. That is the 7th and the 5th. There is a runners-up medal, and then there is the best PS judge, who is me. And for these medals that you see here are for the team that attended the show. Perhaps if we could have a chance to have all the teams that presented all the arguments at Kisii University, you could see this table filled with very brilliant and nice looking medals. And for the clarity, I want to say that as it stands, we are not only the best debating team in this, or we were not only the best debating team at this tournament, but as it stands, we are the best debating club at the entire of Rift Valley region, Nairobi region, because we have already a trophy from Nairobi region. We have for the Rift Valley region, and for the Nyanza, as we stand, we are the best, because the Fikisa tournament was most encompassing the universities and debating organizations from Nyanza and some from outside, as being one of them. Now, and today, as we speak, we have our members at MKU for a debate session. Yes. Tomorrow we are going to host another debate under Kektil. On 25th of October, we're going to host a mega, it's gonna be lit, it's gonna be big, a mega debate contest that we are going to partner with other organization, including that of there is an organization dealing with SDG, that is the organization called SDG for Africa for SDG, that is. And as I conclude, we are welcoming you, and we presume that day Ivani will find time for that debate. It will be the House of Lords debate tournament, and I will expect to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
As we host the House of Lords, we will be launching Motion Movers. Will be no longer be registered, but it will be a CBO. Will be launching. As much as a mega will be launching, as it will be a CBO launch. Motion Movers will be now recognized as from 25th of October. With that, thank you for inviting us. We'll always be coming up. Other team will be coming up. The autonomy is just unlearn to learn. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for gracing our event and gracing our invite. We appreciate you so much for finding time. And next week, same time, same place. Same time, same place. Motion ya next week itakuwa moto, Ellie. Motion ya next week itakuwa moto?
Yes.
Yeah, but we really appreciate them for turning up.
Yeah.
From at least tumelan.
Yeah, tumelan sana kwanza. Yeah, pia kwa niaba ya watazamaji wa viewers kule nje, na pia wale ambao wameweza kusikiliza, najua kwamba umetoka na kakitu. Tulisema usisikize alafu utoke bure. Yes. Na kuna watu ambao wanasema wanasikiliza, labda before tuondoke tuwataje tu. Dance Time anasema wakuu ndio kufika ndani, aliweza kutuma ile SMS kwake 51 minutes ago. Presenter RK anasema good evening Ruben from Free Area, show iko late. Sami Mufuma anasema hello, Sashi yuko pale na wengine wengi sana. Yes.
Naona mkubwa amefika.
Ni matimu yake
wa kwanza Friday sasa. Kama tutamsikilia kidogo tusikie ndani ya 89.2 FM.
Wewe joke peke yako, mimi hapo siko.
Nashukuru sana Motion Movers for gracing our event. Wale pia wenye wako upande ule wa pili, tunawashukuru sana kwa kufika. And kama kawaida Mungu anasaidia Ellie.
Exactly.
Mungu anasaidia, muwe na weekend njema yenye baraka na fanaka.
Naam.
Asanteni sana. Mungu azidi kuwabariki na tuzidi kuombeana.
Yes.
Asante sana Ellie.
Asante. Kwa hivyo tuwaruhusu tuweze kuondoka pale, na kwa niaba ya mtazamaji na msikilizaji kwetu ambao ameweza kuchannel na kutune in katika masafa 89.2 FM, kimpango mzima wa The Debate Drive, na topic leo imekuwa how effective is the cut-off culture, na tukaweza kuzungumza kuhusu masuala tofauti pale. Wale ambao wameweza kuelewa, asanteni sana. Wale ambao hawajaweza kukacha vizuri, unaweza review the live, because tumeweza kuidocument pale kwenye ukurasa wa Facebook na vile pale kwenye YouTube channel yetu radio yetu 89.2 FM. Make sure kwamba umeweza kusubscribe pale, na itakuwa inapendeza tena zaidi. Hadi siku ya Monday, siku ya kesho, hata sio Monday, kesho itakuwa na Ivan kutoka mida 4 pale hadi mida ya 7. Usibanduke, usiondoke. Ogola mjomba atakuwa naingizia hapa kwa sababu ya kipindi cha Sebuleni. Weka unapenda labda zile wisdom hivi, mazungumzo wazi, jamani, mzee ako hapa kwa ajili yako. Ivan kuna vile ameweza kuzungumza, lakini mimi sitakuwa na joke hata kidogo. Atakuwa hapa hadi pale mida ya 6 usiku. Meantime, nichukue fursa hii kuwashukuru wote ambao wameweza kutusikiliza na vile vile kuweza kututazama pale kwenye kurasa zetu zote. Ningependa tutufanye hivi hima kabla hatujaweza kuondoka, make sure kwamba umeweza kubonyeza kile kidude, bonyeza kile kidude cha kusubscribe. Vile vile wale ambao wameweza kuwa pale kwenye frequency kwetu 89.2 FM, asanteni sana. Tunashukuru. Hadi next Friday kwenye The Debate Drive. Nami jina langu ni ELLY 254, tukiwa na Ivan amekuwa hapa katika mpango mzima. Anyway, mimi nawaambia kwa heri. Hii weekend, na weekend kishafika namna hii, tunasemanga mambo isikuwe mambo mengi sana. Kile ambacho tutakuhimiza ni kuwe safe. Wale ambao wanatoka, jamani, pia sio vibaya kutoka, lakini jua unatoka ukielekea wapi, na utarudi lini, na utarudi saa ngapi? Wengi watasema well, mimi mwenyewe nitarudi Sunday asubuhi, nitarudi labda kesho asubuhi ama kesho kutwa asubuhi. That one, it doesn't matter as long as umerudi safe, jamani, nitakuwa nashukuru sana. Sasa anasema kwamba twende zetu, msiende kwenyu. Ogola tuko naingia. Kwa hivyo thank you so much. Kwa hivyo ukizidi labda kutazama pale na kusikiliza, make sure kwamba unatufuatilia kwenye mtandao wa TikTok radio yetu 89.2 FM. Vile vile unaweza nifuatilia kwenye mtandao wa X na vile vile Twitter pale @ELLY of Nigeria. Bye bye hadi siku ya Monday, majaliwa yake Mwenyezi Mungu. Kwa heri.